We welcome your cards and letters of comment. Our mailing address is Nightline, WDAF, Kansas City, Missouri, 64108. Thank you for listening, and good night.
WDAF, Kansas City.
Dan Henry, WDAF Local News at 11. The outlook for Kansas City: cool tonight, warmer tomorrow. Kansas City, Kansas firemen and police are hopeful their efforts to recover a car and its driver from the Kansas River will be successful tonight. Witnesses say they believe the car that careened through a guardrail and off the south side of the Central Avenue Bridge early this evening contained only the driver. Firemen believe they have hooked the car several times with their grappling hooks, but at last report were having difficulty in maintaining sufficient hold to raise it from the river's depths. Jackson County Executive George Lear says he is hopeful his new middle ground proposals offered to union teachers and the Kansas City School Board this evening will be accepted by both sides in time for the school opening ordered by Superintendent Robert Metcalf this Thursday.
We had long discussions over the weekend and last night, and I think the teachers have been very reasonable in this regard. There were some things in there that they wanted that are not included in this proposal. There's some things in this proposal that the school district felt were too much at times, but...
News of the hour on the hour from American Information Radio. This is Merrill Muller in Los Angeles, and at this hour, publishing heiress Patricia Hearst is wanted by the FBI for questioning about the robbery of a Hibernia bank branch in San Francisco. An affidavit filed by the U.S. Attorney charged 3 other women members of the Symbionese Liberation Army with the actual robbery. But an FBI statement said Patricia Hearst may have been acting under a gun aimed by another person. The robbery netted just over $10,600, and in fleeing to 2 getaway cars, the robbers or their accomplices shot and wounded 2 elderly men. Correspondent Dick Shoemaker has more details from San Francisco.
An FBI agent has said that a picture taken by a hidden bank camera shows what appears to be Patricia Hearst actually participating in the robbery. Apparently, Miss Hearst was holding a semi-automatic weapon. However, the FBI here in San Francisco is still not willing to say whether Patricia was acting of her own free will. The U.S. Attorney here in San Francisco, James Browning, said tonight if Miss Hearst was involved voluntarily, he will have no hesitation in issuing a warrant for her arrest. Dick Shoemaker, ABC News in San Francisco.
Steel job deal challenged. That story coming up.
All right, today we're going to make applesauce.
Okay, keep your head back, Deidre. Don't depend on me, depend on Deidre. You pin them this way, with the pins going out, okay?
Let's play some C's together and hear how they sound.
Are you going to give us the recipe to how to make it?
At the end, she gives you a book.
Yeah, there's a book that has it. I can't keep the space and stuff straight.
Yes, you can.
Lisa, you've got 12 feet of water. Are you all right?
No.
People working with girls' clubs can make a difference. This is Carol Burnett asking you to help your local girls' club or write to Girls Clubs of America, Box 35, Grand Central Station, New York 10017, to help get one started. You can make a difference.
You want to be a physical education? You know what you have to do? Good luck. All that science, all that forget. Don't get me down.
2 major organizations have attacked the government's settlement of anti-discrimination charges against 9 major steel companies that will pay blacks and women some $31 million for lost pay on jobs denied. The NAACP and the National Organization of Women both condemn a provision in the plan which could cut off individual civil suits. But government officials indicate the copper and aluminum industries will be hit next for similar anti-discrimination settlements. Former Attorney General John Mitchell has weathered some tough cross-examination at his conspiracy perjury trial. Correspondent Ann Compton has details in New York.
John Wing, the young prosecutor who's been putting in more than 2 years on this case, seemed to put all of his muscle into the cross-examination of John Mitchell. But the tougher the questioning, the harder Mitchell would rock back in the witness chair, never giving an inch, denying he ever flexed his own political muscle for Robert Vesco, who was in trouble with the government. Though Mitchell showed no signs of being rattled, he did slip at one point, addressing Prosecutor Wing as Mr. Dean, apparently thinking of John Dean, one of Mitchell's chief accusers in this conspiracy and perjury trial. Ann Compton, ABC News, New York.
Lebanon has asked the UN Security Council to take any appropriate means to stop Israeli attacks on Lebanese territory as retaliation for terrorist raids. Egypt warned in the debate that Israel would be responsible for any escalation of the Golan Heights fighting with Syria. In Paris, the South Vietnamese foreign minister has announced suspension of the peace talks with the Viet Cong until such time as battlefield attacks are replaced by evidence of goodwill from the Viet Cong. This is Information Radio News.
From the Kurt Murr Sports Desk, rain has washed out the opening round matches in the River Oaks tennis tournament in Houston, so all of those, plus tomorrow's, have been gathered into one bunch. All 16 of the opening round matches have been scheduled for tomorrow. The Kansas City Royals will play the Texas Rangers tomorrow and Wednesday. Steve Busby and Nelson Briles will pitch in that Texas series. St. Louis Cards lost to the Philadelphia Phillies tonight, 3-2, and East Tennessee State's Neil Cusack won the Boston Marathon today. The Kansas City outlook partly cloudy and cool tonight with a slight chance for showers and a low in the upper 30s. It'll be sunny and warmer tomorrow with a high in the 60s. Dan Henry, WDAF News.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to the sounds of suspense. Justice, the noblest creation and the highest ideal of man. The foundation of all religion and the cornerstone of every law. Justice, the birthright of every human being on the face of the earth. Justice, we're brought up to believe in it, to expect it. But what about those people who suddenly discover that for them, there isn't any justice?
You just don't go around killing people, Eddie. But there are people who have to be killed. The war's over. It's been over for a long time.
No, it isn't. Not for me.
Eddie, you're home now. Don't you understand? What could we tell the police?
The truth.
We have no evidence. That's why we have to hunt them down and kill them ourselves, so that justice can be done. We can only have justice through the law.
Okay. Tell me. Will the law give us justice?
I just told you we have no evidence.
Okay. No justice from the law. So where and to whom do we go for justice? Tell me that. Does that mean there isn't going to be any justice?
Our mystery drama, Only the Dead Remember, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Tony Roberts and Mandel Kramer. It is sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser, and by the Kellogg Company, makers of Kellogg's Special K cereal. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
There's nothing wrong with drinking Budweiser sip by sip, is there? Well, the brewers of Budweiser think there's a better way. Sipping's fine if you're drinking wine. But Bud is the king of beers, a hearty drink. Look, rinse a 10 or 12 ounce glass with cold water. Then open a can or bottle of Bud and pour it right down the middle so it kicks up a good head of foam. Now, take a big drink and then swallow big. No sips. That's how it should be done. More taste, more beer drinking enjoyment. Thanks to exclusive Beechwood aging, Budweiser has a smoothness that lets it go down especially easy. Sure, it's an expensive way to brew beer, but brewing beer right does make a difference. That's why when you say Budweiser, you've said it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
I've found the work to be really challenging, and I enjoy it a lot.
If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be in it.
People.
My orientation all my life has been, to help.
I wouldn't have been in Red Cross if I didn't care, about people.
People who care about other people.
It's an opportunity for me to help other people and to see my efforts and my skill pay off.
It's just a very rewarding feeling to think that some little thing you've done is going to help somebody else.
It's the joy you feel when you've helped someone.
People who help other people.
It's like anybody involved with Red Cross programs. They want to volunteer and they want to help.
They are just that type of person who will go out of their way to do anything for anybody at any time, and it carries over to the work they do for the Red Cross.
It's like they're there when you need them.
The people who are the good neighbor. The American Red Cross.
I think that anything you know in this world, if you don't use it when it's needed, what good is it?
For a long time, ever since he came home from one of our wars, Eddie Benson has been looking for someone. Those vital years of his life that might have been invested in a career, devoted to a family, have instead been devoured by an all-consuming search as Eddie Benson roamed the length and breadth of America, supporting himself by his nimble and sensitive fingers, playing the piano, in grimy saloons, in sophisticated night spots, but always looking, always listening, ever alert for a clue that could lead to his quarry. Well, now, tonight, suddenly the manhunt will come to an end in a cocktail lounge in a northwestern city just a few minutes before midnight. Odd how a search so intense could be climaxed by a discovery so casual. How so serious and deadly a crusade can be capped with a laugh. That laugh. Eddie Benson hasn't heard that laugh in years. That laugh. He would recognize it anywhere. It could only belong to one person. And now Eddie's fingers slide softly and swiftly over the keyboard and find a melody, a pretty little melody that has a special meaning for certain people, especially for that comfortable-looking man at the corner table, the man with that laugh.
So I said to her, my dear, if I were to get married again, it'd be the triumph of hope over experience.
Yes, sir, Mr. Jackson. That's a good one, all right. Oh, what's the matter, Mr. Jackson?
The matter?
You okay? You got a funny look on your face all of a sudden.
Hey, Millie.
You didn't get sick or something.
Who's that? Who's that playing the piano tonight?
Oh, there's some guy filling in for Woody. You know him?
No. For a minute, though, I thought he may look familiar. That's just my imagination. Millie?
What is it, Mr. Jackson?
Ask him if he'll,
You got a request, Mr. Jackson?
Yeah, I have. Ask him to quit playing that song.
You don't like it? It's kind of a catchy tune.
Just give him this. Tell him to play something else.
Eddie.
You got a request.
Request in reverse. Customer says to take this $10 and quit playing what you're playing now.
What's this character's name?
Jackson. R.J. Jackson.
I see. R.J. Jackson. Does he live around here?
Oh, up on the hill. All kinds of money.
Figures.
Huh?
It's funny, Millie. How it ends. Where it ends. There were times I thought it would never end. All these years. It kind
it took over, you know. It became a way of life.
Look, I wish I knew what you were talking about.
No, you don't, Millie. I think I'll split.
You mean walk out? You can't just walk out on the
How'd you like to make $10?
All depends.
You keep the 10 spot, and as soon as I'm out of here, you go up to him, good old R.J. Jackson, see, and you say to him, Mother Hennessy's chickens are coming home to roost.
You're kidding.
Say it. You're $10 ahead.
Yeah, but you can't just quit in the middle of playing.
Remember the chickens, Millie. See you around.
Yeah. Oh, boy. The more I get to know musicians. Now, how'd that go? Mother Hennessy's chickens. Yeah. Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson, the piano player, he wanted me to tell you something.
Yeah? I bet it's thanks. That's the easiest $10 he ever made.
Well, what he wanted to tell you was...
Yep. Well?
Well, he said, let's see, Mother Hennessy's chickens coming home to roost.
What's that?
I'm sure that's what he said. Mother Hennessy's chickens are...
No.
Hey, Mr. Jackson. Hey, somebody, give me a hand, quick, he's fainted.
Oh. What? Oh, go away. All right, I'm up. Yeah. Hello?
Tom Wilson?
Yeah, that's Tom Wilson. You know what time it is? It happens to...
I got a message for you, Tom. Mother Hennessy's chickens are coming home to roost.
What? What did you say? Who is this? Hello?
Hello?
Is Bill Traynor at home?
No, but I expect him. Who's calling?
Is this his wife?
Yes, I'm Liz Traynor.
Will you take a message?
Well, of course.
Tell him Mother Hennessy's chickens are coming home to roost.
Yes?
That's all.
You're joking. Hello? Oh, well.
Hi, darling.
Oh, Bill. You just missed a phone call?
Oh, never mind that. What'd the doctor say?
Oh, things are just fine. He'll be born on schedule.
You mean you won't take it, girl?
Darling, I'll take whatever we can get.
I can't believe it, honey. After all this time, everything is going our way. Tom worked out the contract.
Oh, Bill. Oh, I'm so happy.
We're going to be rich, honey. We're going to own a business, and we're going to be parents. What were you saying about a phone call?
Oh, well, a man just called. Very mysterious.
Hmm?
He said to tell you that, let me see, Mother Hennessy's chickens are coming home to roost.
He said what?
Well, that's what he said. He hung up. Can it mean anything?
Oh, no, nothing at all. Just forget it.
What about dinner? Bill, dinner?
Did the man say anything else?
Bill, you're so pale.
Honey, believe me, this is really nothing that should concern you.
The key is the name Hennessy.
Where should we go to dinner?
Darling, you're trying to distract me. Hennessy, we don't know any Hennessy.
Look, honey, I've just been going at a very fast pace, and
Hennessy's chickens. That combination is familiar.
Darling, I'm really very hungry.
I've got it. Oh, I've got it. Your old army outfit is holding a reunion.
What do you know about my old army outfit?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all, except you and Tom Wilson were in it together. You were in Korea. You were prisoners, and you refused to talk about it, even to me.
Why do you say we're having a reunion?
Hennessy. What? Last year when we moved into this house, I was putting a lot of your old stuff away. There was an army picture of you and Tom Wilson. Well, you must have been all of 18, and 2 other young soldiers. In the middle, an older man, a sergeant. And underneath it, you had written, Mother Hennessy's chickens. It just clicked in my mind. That sergeant, that older man.
He was all of 26.
Well, his name was Hennessy, wasn't it?
Yes.
And he looked after all of you like a mother hen.
Yes.
And now you're having a reunion. Oh, Bill. What a wonderful person that Sergeant Hennessy. I want to meet him.
No, you can't.
Why?
He's...
Oh. Was he killed in the war?
In the prison camp.
Bill, that music, that piano. Don't you hear it? It's coming from the living room. Someone's playing the piano. I didn't hear anyone ring the bell. Well, let's go see.
No.
But someone's in the apartment.
Liz, stay here.
Bill.
I want you to stay in the bedroom.
But why?
Liz, in all the years we've been married, I never asked you to do anything just because I said so. But I'm asking you now, please.
All right, Bill.
Just for a while. Hello, Eddie.
Front door was open. I just walked in.
Well, you're welcome, Eddie. Been a long time.
A lifetime. Nice layout.
Yeah. I've done well.
I'm sure you deserve it.
I went to school on the GI Bill, became an engineer.
I always said you had the stuff, Billy.
I'm going to own a good-sized electronics company.
That's nice.
Our old buddy Tom Wilson, remember him?
Who could ever forget Tom?
Well, he's drawing up the contract. Became a lawyer. What about yourself, Eddie?
Me?
Yeah, a fellow with your talent, the way you could write songs like this one for Hennessy. We all figured we'd hear you doing Broadway musicals, coming up with top hits.
Well, I've been too busy.
Doing what?
Looking for somebody. Looking for an old friend of ours.
Bill, I had a phone call. The craziest phone call.
Hello, Tommy.
Eddie. Hey, Eddie Benson. It could only have been you. Where you been hiding?
Tom? Billy? I got the greatest news in the world. I found him. I finally found him.
You finally found who?
The needle in the haystack. One grain of sand on the beach. It was such a long time. It was such a long search.
Eddie, who did you find?
Who do you think? Myers.
Myers? R.J. Myers?
He doesn't call himself Myers anymore, but it's still R.J. Robert Joseph. Or, as Hennessy said, our own little Bobby Joe.
Well, that's incredible.
Except he's not so little anymore. He's a very portly gentleman these days.
You say you found him?
I found him.
What did you say to him, Eddie?
Nothing.
Well, how could you just say nothing?
Tom, you, Billy, and I, we've got nothing to say to Bobby Joe. I just made sure of where we could find him, and I came here to pick up you two guys.
Eddie.
I have a .45. What do you guys want to use?
Eddie, what are you saying?
I'm saying if we leave now, we can fly to where he is in less than 3 hours and kill him before midnight.
Kill. Into the pleasant, well-ordered, comfortable world of Bill Traynor and Tom Wilson, there suddenly intrudes a strange, terrifying, and ugly word. It's not a word of this world. It's a word that belongs to another world, a world of pain and horror, a world that they thought was gone. We'll continue in that world when I return shortly with Act 2.
Great taste in the morning. Kellogg's has that wholesome taste to get you up and grinning.
This is Jerry Coffer for Kellogg's Special K. We've been having some fun in our television and radio commercials by using a ball and chain to symbolize the slight overweight problem common to so many of us. We point out that being a few pounds overweight is just a little more difficult for you. Climbing stairs, just walking around, even sitting down can feel, well, like you're wearing a ball and chain. In case you missed the message, it's this. If you really want to get rid of that extra weight, you really have to work at it by exercising and with sensible meals like the Special K breakfast. A 1-ounce bowl of Special K, America's favorite high-protein cereal, 4 ounces of skim milk, tomato juice, and coffee. Less than 240 calories. Nutritious and, by the way, delicious. So why not begin each day with a Special K breakfast and then keep up the good work? Special K can't help you lose weight all by itself, but it really is a good start.
Who knows how to help you solve your shopping problems? Your Better Business Bureau knows.
Sheriff, they're gone. Lock, stock, and barrel.
Those low-down polecats told me this new roof was guaranteed.
She's leaking like a sieve.
I'll help you with some good advice from the Better Business Bureau. Beware of the salesman who offers such a guarantee. Roof waterproofing requires skill and judgment. It may take several treatments to completely waterproof your roof. Remember, no known process is 100% guaranteed.
Thanks, partner. Now we're riding out.
Looking for them ornery polecats, Sheriff?
No, looking for some buckets before we drown in here.
Just another consumer tip from your Better Business Bureau.
When they were 19 years old, Eddie Benson, Bill Traynor, and Tom Wilson suffered and starved and froze in a prison camp in North Korea. Now it's a lifetime later, and to Tom and Bill, Korea is barely a dream. But Eddie Benson is still stuck deep in the nightmare, still determined to carry out a deadly promise they made to each other long ago.
I thought you two guys would be glad to see me. Now we can keep our promise.
What promise?
Tom, you're kidding, aren't you? Bill, you remember the promise the three of us made? Well, do you?
Yes.
It was more than a promise.
Eddie.
It was an oath.
Look, Eddie.
No, you look, Tom. You look back at a mound of dirt in that prison camp in Korea. You look back and see three guys, we three guys, were kneeling next to that mound of dirt because it's Hennessy's grave. Look back and hear us. Hear us swear never to rest, never to stop, never to know a moment's peace until we kill Robert Joseph Myers.
Eddie, how can we just kill him?
How? Simple. Blow his brains out.
You live in another world whether you realize it or not. Now you just don't go around killing people.
That there are people who have to be killed, Tom.
You're not in combat. The war's over.
Not yet.
Eddie, you're home. There's the law. Now what will you tell the police?
The truth.
What's the truth?
You know the truth as well as I do, Tom. Myers turned rat in Korea. He gave away our escape plan, and he got Hennessy killed for it.
But can you be sure it was Myers?
We know it was Myers. We knew, didn't we? Bill.
I guess we did. All right, tell me this. If we were so sure, why didn't we denounce him 6 months later after we were freed?
Why? You know why, Tom. You were the law student. You said don't denounce him.
I said?
You said. We had no hard evidence. A smart defense lawyer could get him acquitted at a court-martial. That's what you said.
All I said was I wished we had more evidence.
You said we would have to get Myers by ourselves. That's what you said. We would find him, kill him, and announce it to the whole world. And that's what we swore we would do. Do you remember, Bill?
I remember.
Tom?
All right, Eddie, all right. But that was a long time ago.
That doesn't mean it didn't happen.
No, but it means it happened in another time, in another place, under different rules.
In other words, you're not willing to do it.
I can't do it.
I'm an attorney, a member of the bar. I simply cannot be an accessory to a felony.
Okay. Bill, what's your excuse?
I'm not aware that I need an excuse.
I spent my life looking for Bobby Joe so that justice could be done.
Eddie, we can only have justice through the law.
Okay. Tell me then. Will the law give us justice?
We have no evidence.
Okay. No justice from the law, then. Tell me, in that case, where and to whom can we go for justice? Well, does your silence mean there isn't going to be any justice?
Eddie.
Eddie what? Hennessy saved the lives of each of us more times than we can count. If it weren't for him, none of us would be around today. He was betrayed. He was murdered because of Robert Joseph Myers. Now, is that going to be the end of it?
Eddie, there are certain realities.
I know what you think, Tom. Bill, I want to hear you say something.
I wish I knew what to say. You've got nothing to lose, Eddie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it comes down to, doesn't it? I'm just Crazy Eddie, the piano player. You guys, pillars of the community. Rich, respectable, gutless. Well, I'll do it alone.
Eddie, there must be another way out of this.
Tell me about it.
Look, I don't want him to go unpunished either. But Eddie, what's wrong? Eddie?
I don't know.
Hey, Eddie.
Get me a drink of water.
Tom, hold on, or he's going to pass out.
Let him sleep.
What's the matter with him, Doctor?
Well, I'd say this man's been living on his nerves for a long, long time.
Well, what can we do for him?
Let him sleep. For a week, if you can. And whatever you do, see that nothing excites him.
I'm afraid that's going to be difficult.
Why?
Oh, it's a long story.
He needs rest. Needs calm. Call me tomorrow.
Yes, Doctor.
Bill.
Try to get some sleep, Eddie.
I feel so tired. I'll just rest a while, okay?
Sure.
I never felt so tired, except when we were in Korea. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember how Hennessy would keep us awake while we were on guard?
Sure.
You were his favorite.
Oh, he didn't play favorites.
He liked you more than the rest of us because you were the best soldier.
Eddie, try to get some sleep.
I don't care about Tom, but you, especially you have to help me kill Myers.
Eddie, you need your sleep.
Yeah. I'll sleep a little, and then when I feel stronger, we'll go get him. You have to help me, Bill. After all, if it weren't for you, if it weren't for you...
If it weren't for me, what, Eddie? Eddie? Help me, Sergeant. Sergeant Hennessy, get me out of here. Hennessy, help me. Please, don't leave me alone. What? I'm sorry. I was having a nightmare.
Darling, you just can't keep torturing yourself.
Oh, Liz, what am I going to do?
It'll be all right.
No, Liz, whatever I do, it won't be all right. It won't.
Oh, surely you just can't.
Just can't what?
I better not say any more.
Why did Eddie have to show up now?
Darling, what are you going to do?
I don't know. But I just can't go and kill Myers. It would be throwing away my whole life. Yours as well. Liz, please help me.
I can't help you. No one can help you.
It's all set?
We have the closing tomorrow. You'll own a factory, Bill, my friend.
Yeah.
Is Eddie better?
Yeah. He's sitting up now. He's getting an appetite. In a couple of days, the doctor says he can be out of bed.
You know what we have to do, don't you? We have to get word to Myers somehow. I don't like this any more than you do, but we have to warn him to keep out of sight for a while.
I suppose.
Has he told you where Myers is living?
No. He won't even tell me what name Myers is using.
Why?
I don't think he trusts Tom. He thinks we betrayed him and Hennessy.
Bill.
Look, Tom, what's the use? In a sense, we have betrayed Hennessy. We've even betrayed ourselves.
It's all part of what you have to do to live. Now, we must find out where Myers is.
Eddie won't tell me.
He might tell me. I'll get it out of him somehow. We'll save him yet, in spite of himself.
Freezing. It's so cold. So cold.
Bill, darling, you're having a bad dream.
What?
Wake up.
Can we build a fire? Why won't they let us build a fire?
Bill!
A fire?
Bill, please.
Why can't they let us have a fire?
Bill.
Eddie?
Yes, Eddie? We gotta break out of here tomorrow night. Hennessy said to tell you.
We won't have a chance. We better not.
We'll die if we stay here, Tom.
He's right, Tom.
You guys know where we have to meet?
Yeah, Tom and I know. Did you tell Myers?
No.
Why not?
Myers isn't going.
Why not? Shut up, Bill. You can't tell who's around.
Hennessy says Myers can't cut it.
But he's one of us. We can't leave him here.
Hennessy says we can't take a chance on him.
No.
No what?
Without Hennessy and us around to protect him, he'll die here. I'm going to talk to Hennessy. I'll convince him. I'll convince Hennessy that we have got to take Myers. I'll convince him.
Bill, wake up. Darling, you're dreaming again.
What? Yeah. Oh.
Bill, are you all right?
Yeah. I'm all right.
Oh.
Only sometimes I don't know which is the dream. This or Korea. Hi, darling.
Oh, hello, Bill. Tom's here.
Oh?
Yeah, he's inside talking to Eddie.
Yeah, I've got something to say to Eddie, too. Look, I almost forgot you saw the doctor today. Is there anything?
Oh, everything's just fine.
Oh, Liz, this should be the happiest part of my life.
I know, Bill.
I'll be right out. Well, how is everybody?
I want to thank you for everything, Bill.
Oh, it's nothing.
I'm leaving tonight.
Leaving? Where to?
There's a promise I have to keep.
See if you can talk him out of it, Bill. He won't listen to me. He won't tell me anything either.
I won't try to talk you out of anything, Eddie. I want to go with you.
Bill.
What for? To help me or to stop me?
I don't know. I just feel that I have to face Myers with you. And then... Well, right now, I don't know.
Fellas, if this is the way the conversation is going, I have to leave. I can't be part of what happens.
Well, Eddie, where are we going?
I'll tell you when we get there.
What's the matter? Don't you trust me?
Are you going to try to save him?
I don't know what I'm going to do.
We're in this because you tried to save him the last time, you remember?
Yes, I remember. When are we leaving?
Tonight.
All right, I'll go pack.
You don't need much. Just a toothbrush, a razor, and a revolver.
The decisions have been made. Or have they? Tom stays, Bill goes. But what is it that Bill will do when he faces Myers? Right now, his emotions are those of a 19-year-old. But how long can those emotions sustain a man who is close to 40? We'll know when I return shortly with Act 3.
Hello, this is Goldilocks. It seems like only yesterday that I was a little girl tasting porridge. You know, this one's too hot. This one's too cold. And now I conduct taste tests on diet drinks. And there's one I must tell you about. Sugar-free diet 7-Up. It has a fresh, natural, delicious taste. It drives my taste-o-meter crazy. Sugar-free diet 7-Up. This one's just right.
Hi, I'm Nanette Fabre. 11 million Americans have an untreated hearing problem, including 3 million school-age kids. I was one of those kids, but I got help. Most hard of hearing people can be helped either medically or through amplification. There is a Better Business Bureau booklet that may help you, and it's free. Write Better Hearing Institute, Box 1840. That's 1840, Washington, D.C. You want to hear what you're missing.
Pollution, crime, substandard housing, energy crisis, corruption, inequality, vandalism. If you don't like these conditions, you can do something about it. Law Day, May 1st, reminds us that the great thing about our system is that people can have a voice in improving it if they understand it and if they use that voice in the many ways possible. Through involvement, like helping to register voters, campaigning for candidates, voting. People of all ages can work to bring about change lawfully. But with almost half the population under 25, youth can make the difference. Learning what can be done and how should begin at an early age. Law Day urges young America to lead the way. Help preserve good laws. Help change bad laws. Help make better laws. A public service message of the American Bar Association and your state and local bar associations.
Many of us spend our lives searching for the truth. But what is the truth? When are we closest to the basic essence of our existence? Is it when we have the experience and wisdom of age, or the fire and idealism of youth? We keep asking, what is the truth? The answer is, each man must find his own truth.
Liz, Eddie's gone.
Yes, I know.
You know?
Well, I went to his room to see if he was up to having dinner, and he wasn't there.
But I was supposed to go with him.
I know that, too.
How did you know? I didn't tell you.
Darling, you didn't have to tell me.
Well, then how?
I have faith in you, Bill. I have faith that in the end you will do what's right.
Looks as if I'm not going to do anything with Eddie gone.
Well, do you really want to find him?
But how? How could I even begin to look?
I know where he went.
You know? How do you know?
Well, while he was sick, I sent his clothes to the cleaners, and in his pocket there was an airline return ticket.
A ticket to where?
Now, look, Bill, I won't tell you unless you take me with you.
Honey, you can't go in your condition.
Bill, we have to do this together.
But it might be dangerous.
You're wasting our time, Bill. We should be getting the next plane for Central City.
Oh, boy, I didn't realize how hungry I was.
Well, we missed dinner last night.
Now, tell me something. How do we find Eddie in a city this size?
Where's the waitress? Oh, miss. Oh, could you bring us the morning paper, please?
How's the paper going to help us?
Well, the paper would carry ads for the night spots where he might have worked.
Hey, it's right. If he found Myers, it would probably be in a bar or a club.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, miss.
All right, darling, you go through the ads, Sal. Just sit and finish this coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll start looking for Eddie.
Well, I intend to go with you.
Oh, no. No, you don't. It's miserable out. It's snowy. Now, you stay in the hotel. I can find him.
Bill. Oh, Bill, we won't find Eddie.
What do you mean?
Look at what it says. Here in the paper.
Let's see.
Yeah. Eddie is...
What? Musician found shot to death. Police puzzled by mysterious murder. Body discovered in hotel room. No apparent motive. Eddie, how can he be? Only yesterday.
Well, do the police have anything to go on?
No, it says here no leads, no clues. Liz, it had to happen last night. Someone was waiting for him. It has to be Myers.
Well, look, we'd better tell the police.
But Eddie said that's not the name Myers is using. We don't know who he is.
Liz, Bill.
Tom, what are you doing here?
I just got in. I checked the hotels and ran you down.
Then you know.
Yeah, I saw it in the paper. That's why I flew out here.
But, Tom...
What?
How could you...
Liz, what is it?
Oh, nothing.
Poor Eddie. You know what this means? We're both in trouble now, you and I.
Why?
It's obvious Myers knew Eddie was after him, so he killed him.
Tom, we have no choice. We have got to find Myers.
But while we don't know who he is, he knows who we are. In this big city, who is Myers? He could kill us from ambush and get away with it.
Oh, Bill.
Of course, there's one thing we could do.
Yes?
Call it off.
How?
Take the next plane out of here. That would be our way of telling Myers it's all over.
Is that what you want to do?
I'm not saying it's what I want to do. I'm listing our options.
I think we have to find Myers, Tom. This time we can turn him over to justice. It's funny the way it worked out. Eddie had to die so that justice could settle accounts with Myers.
We have to find him first.
All right, we'll try all the music places. Liz, you stay here and stick close to the phones. If either of us gets a lead, we'll be in touch.
Hello?
Darling?
Oh, any luck?
No. Has Tom phoned in?
Not yet.
Well, let's hope we get lucky.
Bill, something bothers me. It must be my imagination again.
Why? What is it?
I don't know, but it has something to do with Tom.
What?
I can't put my finger on it. Just something that doesn't sound right.
What, honey? What could be wrong about Tom?
Bill, now I know.
Wait a minute, darling. I'll call you later. Miss?
Oh, yes, sir. Care to order?
That tune. Would you ask the piano player where he learned it?
He learned it from me. I hum it all the time. You know, he says to me, "Hey, Millie, I like that." Now he plays it all the time.
I knew the man who wrote it. Eddie Benson.
Oh, you knew Eddie?
Sure, we were good friends.
It's a shame what happened to him. He was, I don't know, somebody once told me a word. Mercurial. Yeah, he was a mercurial character.
That he was.
A guy like him. Oh, he got a lot of people sore at him. Well, at least he left a pretty tune to remember him by. I just can't get it out of my head. Everybody loves it. Well, almost everybody. I know one character who didn't.
That so?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know, it was Eddie's last night on the job. He was playing the tune. And then this guy, he comes in here all the time, this guy wanted to give him $10 just to quit playing it.
You're kidding.
No, it's a fact.
Do you know the guy?
Oh, sure. He's a regular. Oh, he hasn't been in lately. Yeah. One thing I gotta say about old R.J. Jackson, he's got a tin ear.
R.J. Jackson. Tell me more about him.
Hello?
Liz, I found him.
How?
I'll tell you later. His name is R.J. Jackson. He has a place out in the country, up in the mountains. I'm going there now.
Oh, Bill.
As soon as Tom checks in with you, tell him to take Route 603 to Mountain Lane. Turn right and go up the hill as far as he can. That's the place.
But, Bill, there's so much snow.
They keep the roads clear up there.
Bill, I must tell you, I know what bothers me about
Liz,
Tom.
I want to get started.
Look, how did Tom know to come to Central City? We didn't tell him where we were going.
He said he read about Eddie in the morning papers.
Yes, but Tom was already in Central City early this morning. How did he get
Darling,
here?
you're talking about Tom. Now, I'm sure he... Look, honey, I have got to be on my way. Hi, Tom. Glad you made it.
Yeah. I guess this is as far as the car can take us. It's that house on the top of the hill.
Yeah.
I think we should have sent the police.
How? Once again, we don't have the evidence?
Then what are we going up there for? To kill him ourselves?
No. I think we can get a confession out of him.
Oh, sure.
Now, look, he's human. He's got a guilty conscience. He'll break down, he has to. Now, come on. Boy, looks like Korea, doesn't it? Yeah. Miles of nothing. You could just sink into the snow. It could just be the end of everything.
That's far enough.
What?
Stay where you are.
Look in the doorway. It's Myers. He's got a rifle.
You're trespassing. Now get out of here, or I'll shoot.
You wouldn't shoot us, Myers.
My name isn't Myers. Now get out of here.
We have to talk with you, RJ. We're coming up.
I'm warning you.
Come on, RJ. You can't get away with it. Look out! Hit the ground. Stay low, Tom. There's a line of trees leading up to the house. We'll work our way in.
Hell, this guy can kill both of us.
I don't think he wants to.
Are you crazy? This is the man who just killed Eddie last night.
Right now, he's scared. Come on. Head for those trees.
Keep away! Keep away!
We'll try for that stone fence. Tom, what? Put your gun away.
I'm not going to let him pick me off. He'll show himself in the doorway when he wants to shoot again.
Don't. He's only trying to scare us off.
I see him.
Don't, Tom. Don't.
I got him. I got him. Look. He's on the ground.
Hurry up. Come on. RJ.
Don't kill me. Don't shoot again. Get me a doctor.
You'll get a doctor. But first, we'll get a confession. Now, you sold us out in the prison camp. Confess.
No, I didn't kill.
Let him alone. He'll confess later. Let's bring him inside.
No, he'll confess now. And when Eddie Benson found you, you shot him.
No, I didn't.
Then who did?
I'm hurt bad. Get me to a doctor. Bill, you were always a good guy. Help me.
RJ, it was a long time ago. The world's forgotten. I don't even think you could be brought to trial for it. It's just among the three of us. Now, I want you to confess.
I didn't do it. Honest, I didn't do it.
You did, because you didn't show up. You stayed behind. You told the guard.
No.
What did they give you? Did you have to kill Eddie, too?
I didn't kill anybody.
Yes, you did. We can get the waitress to testify. She'll tell how you saw Eddie in the lounge, how you passed out.
Well, sure, I was scared. Because you guys always thought it was me. But it could have been anybody. You, Tom.
What?
Or you, Bill. Or even Eddie himself.
Let's drag him down to my car and bring him in.
Tom.
Now, please. Haven't I suffered enough?
No, it's not enough.
Tom, how did you know about the waitress? Huh? How did you know about the waitress?
What? You told me.
No, I didn't tell you anything about the waitress. I just left a message for you to meet me here.
Well, Well, you must have said something about it to Liz.
But I didn't.
Well, then, how would I know?
How? Because Eddie told you.
Eddie? Why would Eddie tell me?
You said you could get it out of him. Did you tell him that I would never help him, but that you would? Is that how you got him to trust you?
Oh, come on. Why would I want to kill Eddie?
Because of that talk we had in my house. Maybe unconsciously, both Eddie and I started to think. Why were we always convinced that R.J. was the informer? Because you were the first one to accuse him. And who said not to denounce him to the army? You did, Tom. And who said let's hunt him down ourselves? You did. Why? Because you knew it would be impossible. You knew we would settle down in a civilian life and forget it.
Bill, you've got it wrong.
You didn't figure on Eddie. You didn't figure one of us would spend his whole life.
Bill, you know me.
Everywhere you turn, it's you, Tom. You with all the shrewd answers. Why did you have to kill Eddie?
Because he was starting to talk just like you are. And then he figured it out. And he wanted to kill me. So I had to kill him. It was self-defense. I had to kill him. It was like it used to be. Back in combat. Kill or be killed.
You were the informer.
No, I informed, but I wasn't the informer. I just didn't do what Hennessy ordered. I didn't cover my tracks. That's why they found us.
What did they pay you?
Nothing. I wanted us to get caught.
You wanted it? Why?
Well, Hennessy was wrong. The only time in his life he was wrong. We could never have made it, Bill. All of us would have died in the snow. I was trying to save our lives. I tried to explain it to Hennessy. I tried, but he wouldn't listen. he would only say in that way of his, "Trust me, kid, it'll be okay." And I keep trying to explain to him. Believe me, I try. Every night for the last 20 years, I try to make him see it, but I can't find him. He's out there in the snow, and I can't find him.
All right, Tom, we better go back to town.
No, wait here. I'll find him. He can't have gone far. I'll find him. I'll explain why I did it. He'll forgive me. He'll understand.
Stop him,
why I did
Bill.
it.
Stop him.
He'll understand.
He'll get lost out there. He'll freeze to death.
I can't leave you, RJ. I have to get you to a doctor. We'll come back for Tom. Later.
They found Tom Wilson later, much later, about the time of the spring thaw. The snow, the ice had preserved the final expression on his face. It was one of peace and calm, as if he had actually found Hennessy, and Hennessy had forgiven him. Well, Hennessy would. He was that kind of man. I'll be back shortly.
Oh, sure. You can talk about good-tasting diet drinks, but I know. I'm Goldilocks, and here at my taste-testing laboratory, I taste-test them all. And nobody's been drinking my diet drinks until I tested sugar-free Diet 7-Up. And then, kabloomy! Every bear wanted some. Diet 7-Up is fresh, natural, delicious. Sugar-free Diet 7-Up. This one's just right.
You finally made your gift list. Your neighbor's child is 2, your niece is 6, and nephew is 7. But before you go to the toy store, there's something else you should do. Write Toys, Washington, D.C. 20207 for a free booklet on toy safety. That's Toys, Washington, D.C. 20207. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission.
The boy dreams. The man does. It's what we call the generation gap. And this is not the distance between parents and children. It is the unbridgeable abyss between what a man is today and what he wanted to be yesterday. But that's because you can only be young once. Something you can do more than once is listen. You can listen again and again to our Mystery Theater tales. Our cast included Tony Roberts, Mandel Kramer, George Petrie, Bryna Rayburn, and Lon Clark. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next tale.
Now, what made you do a thing like that?
I couldn't help it. It just came out. We were talking, and I told him about what happened to you that night.
Nothing happened to me that night. It was just a mistake.
You fainted. There wasn't any mistake about that.
Fainted? What kind of a word is that? Old ladies faint. Me, I just conked out for a couple of minutes.
Yes, but the reason...
Never mind the reason. You still trying to tell me I'm nuts? I didn't see that guy in the elevator.
No, I'm not saying that.
Because I did see him. Understand? He was some kind of freak, that's all. And maybe somebody who had a bad accident.
But a man without a mouth... It's so incredible. I mean, how can anyone live without a mouth?
This guy was alive. I seen him.
Yes, and he scared you so much.
Did you cut that out?
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by new sugar-free Diet 7-Up. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
WDAF, Kansas City.
Financial assistance available during school. Up to $2,700 over 3 years. There's even free civilian flying lessons for qualified men. PLC Ground. PLC Air. PLC Law. For a few good men.
Our story begins in the heart of New York City. A heart which, as usual, beats with the rhythm of rushing traffic, the clang of construction, the clamor of commerce, and the never-ending flow of people on their way to meetings, parties, rendezvous, and other human encounters. But we're interested in only one person today. There he is, just hailing a taxi on the corner of East 63rd Street. He's a dapper figure in his blue serge suit, his white shirt, and conservative gray tie. He appears to be a man in his late 50s, well-dressed, well-tanned, and well-heeled. His name is Joe Gannett. Occupation? Retired. But retired from what? Listen.
Hey, taxi! Hey, taxi! Taxi! 530 West Side Avenue.
Right. Nice day for a change, eh?
Yeah, it's okay.
One day hot, one day cold. It's enough to drive you crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, you know something? You look familiar.
Yeah. I'm a movie star, Mac. I'm Raquel Welch.
No, I mean it. You really do. You ever live in Chicago?
Look, you mind we do without the conversation?
I'm from Chicago originally. Moved here about 10, 11 years ago. I could swear I knew you from some... Wait a minute. You're Joey Ganatello.
You got it wrong, mister.
Listen, you wouldn't remember me, Mr. Ganatello, but I used to drive for Turk Wilson sometimes. You remember Turk Wilson? He's in Stern now, of course. They got him on income tax evasion.
I don't know, no Turk Wilson, and my name isn't whatever you said, you understand?
Yeah, sure. I mean, no offense, mister.
Okay. No offense. And no more conversation.
Just a minute. Uncle Joe!
Kitty, well, here I am for the housewarming.
Oh, you angel.
Hey, come on, take it easy. You're choking me.
Couldn't believe my eyes when those things started to arrive this morning.
You like it, huh?
First the dishes, then the silver. Uncle Joe, that silver. It must have cost a fortune.
Hey, do I have to stand out here in the hall, huh? You got a new apartment. Let me in to take a look at it, huh?
Of course. Come in.
Hey.
Only don't look too hard, please.
Hey.
Everything's still in such a mess.
Hey, it looks pretty good to me.
Well, I still got to paint the bedroom, and the drapes aren't up yet, and I'm going to cover the whole wall over there with bookshelves.
Yeah.
Ira's going to build them for me.
Oh?
And don't you think it was a good idea to break through to the dining room? Makes the living room look twice as big. We'll put up some kind of divider between the two.
Hey, who's this we? You got a roommate or something?
No, of course not.
Who's this Ira? A carpenter?
No, a boyfriend.
Oh, you got yourself a steady, huh?
Why do you think he's steady?
Hey, listen, the guy who's going to build your bookshelves and dividers and all that stuff.
Never mind about that. Come on and see the kitchen.
Hey, stop rushing me. Hey, how about give me a drink first?
Oh, of course. I'm just so excited.
You're not sorry now, huh?
About accepting all this?
Yeah.
Oh, how could I be sorry? My own co-op apartment. I just wish you hadn't paid all that money, Uncle Joe.
Ah, come on. You know why I did it, Kitty. I did it for your old man. This is the kind of thing Matty Russo would have done if he was alive.
No, Uncle Joe. That isn't true. My father could have never afforded anything like this.
Well, if he hadn't been so dumb about life insurance... what's the use of worrying about that now, huh? He was my best pal, and you... Well, you're like a You're like my daughter now. And if a guy can't help his daughter, then,
Oh, if you keep talking like that, Uncle Joe, you're going to have a shoulder full of wet tears.
Oh, come on, huh? Knock off that sentimental garbage. Next thing you'll be sitting in my lap, and what would Ira say about that, huh?
Uncle Joe?
Yeah.
I'd like you to meet Ira.
Oh, so I was right, huh? It's serious, huh?
I do like him. I like him very much.
Yeah, what does this Ira do? I mean, besides build bookshelves?
He's a doctor.
A doctor? Hey, nice going, kid. Your mama would have liked that.
His full name is Ira Hamill.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't just meet him. He was doing some postgraduate work at college.
Hey.
I've actually known him for almost 8 months. I told him about you, Uncle Joe.
Sure, why not? I mean, I'm the only folks you got.
I mean, I told him about your trouble.
What are you talking about, huh? Now, what made you do a thing like that?
I couldn't help it. It just came out. We were talking, and I told him about what happened to you that night.
Nothing happened to me that night. It was just a mistake.
You fainted. There wasn't any mistake about that.
Fainted? What kind of a word is that? Old ladies faint. Me, I just conked out for a couple of minutes.
Yes, but the reason...
Never mind the reason. You still trying to tell me I'm nuts? I didn't see that guy in the elevator?
No, I'm not saying that.
Because I did see him. Understand? He was some kind of freak, that's all. And maybe somebody who had a bad accident got himself sewn up.
But a man without a mouth... It's so incredible. I mean, how can anyone live without a mouth?
This guy was alive. I seen him.
Yes, and he scared you so much.
Did you cut that out? Hey, wait a minute. This boyfriend, this doctor of yours, he's not a shrink, is he?
No, he's an internist.
Good. For a minute there, I thought she was trying to make a patient out of me.
Ira doesn't have any trouble getting patients. He does very well all by himself.
Well, I guess I'll have to meet this terrific guy, won't I? Ask him what his intentions are.
That's exactly what my intention is. To have you two meet. Anytime you're free.
Me? I'm always free, you know that. Look, why don't you bring him over tonight, huh? To my place.
You really mean it?
Of course. I'll call that catering joint. We'll order something fancy like that beef Wellington junk, huh? Yeah, we'll open a bottle of that $60 wine and press the pants off.
We don't have to impress Ira.
Well, sure, why not? Let him think you're an heiress or something. A princess, maybe, huh?
Oh, you make me feel like a princess, Uncle Joe.
Okay, send that up. Look, make it 2 bottles. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so long. Where's that food? It's not that catering joint. I told him 7 o'clock. I guess that's them, huh? Oh, my God. No. Get away from me. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go away.
Are you sure he's all right? Are you sure it's not his heart?
No, his heart's okay. Pulse is a little fast. It's just shock, Kitty. He'll be okay.
He looks so terribly pale.
He's coming out of it now.
Hey.
Hello, Mr. Gannett. I'm sorry to have to meet you like this.
Yeah.
I'm Ira Hamill.
The doctor?
That was a very dirty trick, Uncle Joe. Getting Ira to make a house call by pretending to invite us to dinner.
Hey, help me out.
Yeah, you better take it easy, Mr. Gannett.
I'm okay now. I'm okay. I just got a little dizzy. Yeah, how long was I out?
I don't know. We got here at 7:15. We rang and rang, but nobody answered. I got word and called the super.
Hey, listen, did the food get here?
It's here. Oh, but never mind about that.
What about the wine? I ordered some of that chateau stuff.
What happened exactly?
Nothing.
Uncle Joe, please. The last time you had a blackout. Well, was it anything like the last time?
You want the truth? It was exactly like the last time.
A man without a mouth.
And she told you that, too?
Well, it was interesting. I even looked up a book I have, Anomalies and Curiosities of Medicine. There is a condition called atresia of the mouth. I'm afraid I don't know of any modern case.
What you're saying is there is no such thing?
No, I didn't say that. For one thing, I don't really know the whole story. Just what Kitty told me about you seeing this man in the elevator.
That's right. He was in the corner of the elevator, reading a newspaper. He didn't even look up when I got in the car. But then I turned around and I seen him, staring at me.
So he had eyes, but no mouth.
None that I could see. Just skin, covering everything from his nose to his chin.
It was only an optical illusion. I'm sure of it.
Mr. Gannett, did you see that man again tonight?
No.
You mean it was something else this time?
It was another one. A different man right at my front door.
But there was something unusual about him.
It was the same thing. He didn't have any mouth.
Oh, Uncle Joe.
Hey, look. Maybe it's freaks. They're freaks walking around. Hey, Martians, maybe. What do you think, Doc? Going to be Martians?
Well, why should they pick on you?
Yeah, that's right. I've never done nothing to a Martian. Why pick on me, eh? Hey, come on. Let's forget this junk. Huh? Let's eat that food. How about it, Kitty? You want to warm it up for us?
All right, Uncle Joe.
What the heck? We got mouths. Let's use them. I'm coming. Oh. What are you doing here, Doc?
Is it all right to come in, Mr. Gannett?
Is Kitty with you?
No. In fact, Kitty doesn't even know I'm here.
Hmm? And why are you?
I just thought you and I could have a private conversation, if that's all right.
Let's make it some other time. I was taking a little nap. I'm not feeling so hot.
Well, maybe I can help. I am a doctor.
It's nothing serious. I think maybe I just bumped my head when I took that fall the other night.
You want me to have a look at it?
I said no. If I wanted a doctor, I'd call one.
Well, I'm not here as a doctor. I'm here as Kitty's fiancé.
Fiancé? Hey. You mean you two are engaged?
That's right.
Well, okay. Swell. I'm glad for you, for both of you.
I know Kitty means a lot to you, Mr. Gannett.
Sure, she means a lot. Her old man was my best friend. She's a kind of a legacy.
She thinks a great deal of you, too. She considers you her entire family.
Look, you want my blessing. You got it. You just treat my girl right. That's all I ask.
I didn't come for your blessing. I came to ask you a question.
Yeah? About what?
About you and the syndicate.
What was that?
I know something about you that even Kitty doesn't know, Mr. Gannett. I know what you used to do for a living.
Well, Mr. Joe Gannett seems to be a man who is not merely haunted by strange men without mouths. He also seems to be haunted by his past. Is it possible that the cab driver was correct? That Joe Gannett and Joey Gannatello are one and the same person? And is there any connection between his past and his terrifying present? We'll find out when we return shortly to Act 2.
Say, Bud, you've said a lot of things nobody else can say. When you say, Bud, you've gone as far as you can go to get the very best. Yeah. When you say, Bud, what makes it all the way. When you say, Bud, you say you care enough to only want the king of beers. There is no other one. Only something less. Something less. King of beers, king of the rest. When you say, Bud, Weiser, you said it all. You said it all.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Your contributions to care have given help and hope to millions of needy people around the world. When they were hungry, you nourished them. When they were thirsty, you brought them safe water to drink. When they were sick, you made them well. When they were homeless, you provided them shelter. When they could not read, you helped build their school. When they were without hope, you showed them how to help themselves. CARE, the International Aid and Development Organization. By helping one human being anywhere, you help mankind everywhere. People who need care need your help.
Please send your dollars to CARE, Department 2, New York 10016.
Dr. Ira Hamill may be the most important man in the life of Kitty Russo. And Kitty Russo is the most important person in Joe Gannett's life. But right now, Uncle Joe has every reason for wanting Dr. Hamill to go away and leave him alone. But Ira is a persistent young man, as persistent as the memories which Joe Gannett has been determined to forget.
Okay. What do you know about me, Doc?
I know you were called before the Illinois Crime Commission back in the 50s.
You weren't old enough to blow your nose in the 50s.
That's right. I don't remember anything about it. But I've read magazines. And I've seen television documentaries. But this man I saw yesterday, this psychiatrist friend of mine, he was just getting his medical degree during the hearings. He remembered you, too.
Did you say psychiatrist?
I thought it wouldn't hurt to have his opinion.
About whether I was nuts, huh?
Oh, he didn't give me any diagnosis. He said he wouldn't even try, not on the basis of such slim evidence. But when I mentioned your name, well, he wondered if Joe Gannett might have once been Joe Gannatello. Was a pretty good guess, wasn't it?
Why don't you go home and practice medicine, Doc? You say one word, let's go under to Kitty. Now I'll really act like her papa and tell her her boyfriend stinks.
Believe it or not, Mr. Gannett, I'm trying to help you.
But here's how you can help me. Here, go through this.
This psychiatrist friend of mine, he did have an idea about these apparitions you've been seeing. The men without mouths sounded valid to me.
He did, huh?
If you want me to tell you what he said, shut the door.
Okay. Tell me.
He said there was no doubt that they were hallucinations. But the pattern was fairly clear, given your background.
What's that got to do with it?
What does it bring to your mind? The idea of a man without a mouth.
You tell me.
All right. Someone who can't talk. Isn't that obvious? A man without a mouth is silenced. Mouthless men tell no tales, just like men.
What are you trying to say, Buster? You calling me a murderer?
I'm just reporting my conversation, Mr. Gannett. The psychiatrist said, well, your past associations may have left you with strong guilt feelings related to, well, informers or would-be informers. That's not an accusation, just an analysis.
You all through?
Well, the only reason I'm telling you this is because it might help. The only reason I want to help you is because of Kitty. I'd jump off the George Washington Bridge if Kitty said jump, Ira.
Okay. Okay, you jump off bridges if you wanna. You do anything you please, Doc, except for one thing. You don't say one word about this to Kitty.
She really doesn't know, does she?
One word, and I'll wrap your diploma around your neck, you hear me?
I wasn't going to tell her, Mr. Gannett. I don't want to see Kitty hurt. I love her. Just as you do. Now you can open that door again.
Stinking little punk. Wise guy, Doctor.
Do you want another drink, Mr. Gannett?
Huh? Oh, yeah. Yeah, right, Harry. Another drink, that's right.
Here you go.
Yeah, right up to the top, Harry. Right up to the brim, huh?
Sure, Mr. Gannett. You know, we always take good care of you.
Nobody has to take care of me. I take care of myself, Harry. I always have.
Sure, that's the way. Look out for number one, right?
Hey, Harry, you know something? You know, you got a good, strong mouth.
Thanks, Mr. Gannett.
A guy can see your mouth, plain as day.
And I was thinking of growing a mustache. You figure that wouldn't be a good idea?
Hey, Harry, people have to have mouths, don't they?
Yeah, they sure do. Listen, some of the people come in here, they got real big mouths, never stop talking for a minute.
You never saw anybody without a mouth, Harry, did you?
No, Mr. Gannett, I can't say that I did. Oh, excuse me, I got a new customer. What can I do for you, sir?
Oh, God. Oh, no. No. It's another one. It's another one.
Hey, what's the matter?
I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out.
Hey, Mr. Gannett.
Let me
what's
out.
the matter?
Let me out. Come on, Kitty.
Hello?
Kitty, it's me.
Uncle Joe?
Yeah, Kitty. I seen another one today. I swear I did. A man without a mouth.
Uncle Joe, you didn't.
I'm telling you, I swear it on my mother's grave. He walked into this bar. He sat down to the end. He looked straight at me, Kitty, so help me. And he didn't have a mouth.
Oh, Uncle Joe, you need help. You've got to have help.
I thought maybe that friend of yours, a doctor, I thought maybe I should see him.
I wish you would, Uncle Joe. He could recommend someone.
Yeah, I'll see him, Kitty. Kitty, I gotta do something.
Please. Sit down, Mr. Gannett.
Thanks.
You've, seen another one, haven't you?
Now, listen to me, Doc. I know you think I'm nuts. I ought to be seen as a psychiatrist, not a guy like you.
I'll be happy to give you the name of someone.
No, wait, now listen to me. I couldn't take that. I mean, going to a shrink. I'm just not the type. But with you got a good head on your shoulders. I can tell.
I'm not a psychiatrist.
But you can help me. I know you can. I got ghosts haunt me. Just like you said, I never believed in ghosts before, but maybe I've got to believe now.
I'm not a spiritualist either.
Look, I figured two ways. I could go to a doctor, or I could go to church and talk to a priest.
Both might help. That's one thing psychiatrists and the church have in common. They know that confession is good for the soul.
What do you mean, confession?
It's the root of the problem, isn't it? Guilt feelings build up pressure in the mind. Sometimes the pressure becomes unbearable and, well, there's some kind of explosion.
What, you mean in the brain?
Well, you might have been right when you used the word ghosts. The ghosts of the past may be haunting you, Mr. Gannett.
The past, always the past. Why do you have to keep bringing that up?
Isn't that the whole point?
No.
Where do these ghosts come from?
From hell, that's from where.
You mean they're ghosts of people?
I knew I shouldn't have come here. I knew it'd be a waste of time.
Now, wait a minute,
So
Mr.
long,
Gannett.
doctor. You were right. You're no shrink. Maybe you're not any kind of doctor.
Wait, Kitty and I are having a party in a couple of weeks, an engagement party.
Have a good time.
No, we want you to come. It's important to Kitty that you be there.
I don't like parties. So long. should have gone there in the first place. A stupid kid. Was a stupid kid like that. Hey, watch where you're going, miss. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hello?
Uncle Joe?
Yeah, hi, Kitty.
Are you okay?
Yeah, fine. Great. Why shouldn't I be?
I just want to know.
I suppose your boyfriend told you about me seeing him today.
Uncle Joe, is it true that you don't want to come to our engagement party?
You know me, Kitty. I'm just not the party type.
Have to be here. All of Ira's relatives are going to be here, and there won't be anyone at all from my side.
Honey, I just can't make it. Kitty, I got a million things I gotta get this place of mine in some kind of shape. I mean, it's got all kinds of junk laying around.
Joe.
Okay, honey, I'll try to be there.
It's next Friday, 8:30, right here.
I'll try, honey, I will. So long. As long as I don't go nuts before then. Maybe I should clean up the junk around here. Look in that closet. Oh, look at all that junk. There's Christmas stuff I ain't even opened. This old typewriter, I should give that away, get rid of it. What am I going to do, write a book? Yeah, that's the thing, all right. Confession's good for the soul. I had to put down a whole story like the doc said. Maybe he's right about it. I couldn't even write a postcard. Hey, wait a minute. How about this? Hey, the tape recorder one Kitty gave me last year. Jeez, I never even touched the thing. See, how's this thing work anyway? Yeah, on, off, record, stop, rewind, play. Well, there's nothing very hard about that. Let's see, where's the microphone here? Oh, yeah, it is. It plugs in here, I guess. Yeah, that looks right. Now what, press the record button, right? Yeah. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. See how that sounds. Okay, press the rewind button now. Then press play. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. That's easy enough. Only, how easy is it going to be to confess? Well, only one way to find out. Try. My name is Joe Gannett. No, that's not starting off with the truth, is it? My name is Joey Gannatello. In 1945, 46, I shot and killed a man named Ricky Natans. What the heck am I doing? Am I crazy? I can't put that on tape. That's crazy. I can't. Wait. Maybe that's the way. If they're really ghosts, then maybe that's what they want. A confession. Sure, why not? Nobody will hear it. I'll tell everything, but I'll take the tape and stick it in an envelope. I'll leave it at my desk and write to be opened only after my death. Maybe that'll make them leave me alone. My name is Joe Gannett. I used to be called Joey Gannatello. I was born and raised in Chicago. I worked for a man named Turk Wilson. In 1946, I shot and killed a man named Ricky Natans. Turk Wilson paid me $200 to kill him on account of Natans talking to the feds about a black market operation. 6 months after that, I I shot and killed a man named Wally Sanchez. I don't know why Turk Wilson wanted him.
A tape recorder is a wonderful device, a very useful tool in all sorts of situations. And if confession is good for the soul, you might even call it a confessional box. But will it be the right answer for Joe Gannett? Will it provide him with the magic formula to rid him of all his mouthless phantoms? We'll find out when I return shortly with Act 3.
And now, another story of the ball and chain, as Kellogg's Special K presents The Library.
Welcome to the public library. May I help you, sir?
Yes, I'd like to check out... I'd like to check out Famous Laundromats of the World by Audrey Schnorbart.
Sir, excuse me, but isn't that ball and chain you're wearing just like the ones they use in the Kellogg's Special K commercial?
This ball and chain?
Yes, that one. How are you going to get rid of it?
Well, you know, lots of good exercises, and by eating smart at every meal, starting with the Special K breakfast.
Don't you have to watch your calories?
Yes, and the Special K breakfast is less than 240 calories.
Less than 240 calories?
Right. A 1-ounce bowl of high-protein Special K, 4 ounces of skim milk, tomato juice, and coffee. It's really tasty, and it's going to help me get rid of this ball and chain. I'd say it's long overdue, get it?
Your happy ending could begin with the Special K breakfast from Kellogg's.
The Veterans Administration helps people in little ways.
A veteran, let's say, is trying to get into port. He is filed to go to school under the GI Bill. He's not getting any money, but he's entitled. Well, what's wrong with writing a letter saying that under the law, this man is entitled to receive $220 a month for attending school on a full-time basis? Believe it or not, he can take that letter with the little job, take it to the real estate people, and because he has an additional income of $220, although he isn't receiving it, it makes his chances of getting that apartment much better. And this is what I mean about the little things. Going beyond the duty every once in a while. Just go a little bit out of your way to help someone. That's my philosophy. To me, these are little things, but big things to that person. A big thing to that person.
At VA, we try a little harder to help.
It is now 2 weeks later. The day, Friday. The occasion, the engagement party of Kitty Russo and Dr. Ira Hamill. As you can hear, it's a very happy occasion. But for Kitty Russo, it becomes even happier when the doorbell rings again and she opens it for a very important guest.
Uncle Joe!
Hey, Kitty, well, here I am, just like I promised.
Oh, Uncle Joe! I almost gave up hope.
Well, what for? Didn't I say I'd be here?
You never said it very convincing.
Hello, Mr. Gannett. Glad you made it after all.
Hiya, Doc. Hey, you think I'd miss my little girl's one and only engagement party, huh?
Well, I'm glad you didn't. I think Kitty would have been very disappointed.
Now, listen, no engagement is official without me, right, Kitty?
That's right, Uncle Joe. Oh, you look just marvelous. Ira, doesn't he look well?
Oh, yeah, you look fine, Mr. Gannett. Been feeling okay?
Me? I'm feeling like $1 million.
Oh, it's so wonderful to hear you say that.
And then you haven't had any more, trouble.
Would you like passing out? No more of that.
No, I didn't mean just that.
It's all over, Doc. The whole problem. It's all over and done with.
Then you're not seeing anything peculiar these days.
No, I figured out what the whole trouble was. Yeah, I changed my brand of booze.
Uncle Joe, come on.
That's what it was. I changed my booze. I changed my reading glasses. Hey, speaking of booze, how do you get a drink in this joint?
Well, you come on with me. I'll show you where the best booze is.
Go on.
Say, is it really true? Have the hallucinations stopped?
Stopped cold, just like that.
Oh, I'm really glad to hear that.
So am I. For a while back there, I thought I'd have to take a trip to the funny farm.
Yeah.
But it hasn't happened once in the last 2 weeks.
Well, that certainly gives us something to drink to, doesn't it?
Yeah, we'll drink to Kitty, Doc. I mean, Ira.
Yeah. You like scotch, right?
Yeah, scotch is fine. Listen, I said a couple of things here that weren't so nice. I hope you can forget.
I didn't take any offense.
That's good. You marrying Kitty, it means you'll be stuck with me too, huh?
Joe, why do you think it happened?
What?
Losing your ghost.
Oh, I don't know. I guess he just got tired of haunting me, huh? Oh, hey, now, listen, I got a little present for you and Kitty. No, nothing fancy, just something small and green, huh? Here.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay, come on, open it up, take a look.
Well, all right. That's a lot of money, Joe.
Well, a couple of kids get married today. They need every penny they can get their hooks out.
I still think it's too much.
Now, look, you got a nice long future ahead of you. Me, most of what I got is past, you know?
Well, I know something else, too. The past is the past, Joe. Once it's gone, it's gone. Understand?
Hey, Ira, you know something? I think Kitty got herself a pretty good catch. Oh, come on now, honey. You don't have to do this. I can get my own taxi.
It's all right, Uncle Joe. I just want to make sure you get home all right.
Oh, yeah. I know what you think. You think your Uncle Joe is drunk, huh? That's what you think.
You just had a very good time. That's
well, I had a very good reason that my little girl is getting herself engaged. Hey, now look at that, huh? You see that?
See what?
That lady, there's some nerve, huh? Hey, lady, we were here first.
Don't worry about it, Uncle Joe. There'll be more than one cab.
Yeah, people shouldn't do that. It's not nice to do that. Hey, lady, you're trying to steal our cab? Excuse me, honey.
Uncle Joe.
Now, listen, lady, you can't do... Oh, my God. Oh, no mouth.
Uncle Joe.
No.
Come back.
No mouth.
Please.
No mouth.
Uncle Joe!
You're a lucky man, Joe. You must have good, strong bones because you didn't break one of them.
I'm okay. That car just knocked the wind out of me. Look, Ira, pull some strings where to get me out of this place.
Well, they just want you for observation, Joe, just for a couple of days.
I'll run home and get you a toothbrush and anything else you might need.
And your hospitalization card. Don't forget that.
Yeah, that's right. There's no use adding insult to injury.
Now you're being sensible.
Okay. Where's my clothes?
Everything's right here in the closet, but don't get any ideas.
No, I'm thinking about my house keys. They're in one of the pockets.
Don't worry about the keys. I've got my old set with me.
Okay. Well, why don't you go now then, huh?
All right. I'll be back in an hour or so.
Ira, listen, I want to talk to you alone.
All right, about what?
You was wrong.
What do you mean?
Your whole theory was all wet. The skies without mouths. I mean, you thought I was being haunted by a lot of ghosts from the past, but you were wrong.
Why do you say that?
Because I saw another one tonight, and it wasn't a man. It was a woman.
What?
You heard me. I saw a woman without a mouth. And there ain't a woman in my whole life I ever felt guilty about, you understand? That sent your whole idea up the flue.
Look, Joe, I told you I wasn't a psychiatrist. Now, maybe my diagnosis was wrong, or maybe it was incomplete.
It was wrong. There ain't no reason for me to see a woman without a mouth. I never heard a woman in my life, never.
All right. So I was mistaken. I'm sorry.
And I did it all for nothing. I put the whole thing on tape.
Well, what were you going to say?
The tape in my library.
What are you talking about, Joe?
My hospitalization card, all that stuff. I keep it in the library. In the top drawer of my desk.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure Kitty will know where to look.
Yeah, she'll know all right. She'll know exactly. Hey, listen, Ira. Do me a favor, will you? I'm kind of sleepy. Maybe if I took a little nap.
Oh, sure, Joe. I'll let you sleep.
Thanks.
I'll see you later.
Yeah, fine. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get home. Maybe she didn't find it. Maybe she didn't even look in that envelope. Kitty? Kitty, you here? Kitty? Library door's closed.
$200 to kill him on account of Nathan talking to the feds about a black market operation. 6 months after that, I shot and killed a man named Wally Sanchez.
Oh, my God.
I don't know why Turk Wilson wanted him dead, but I shot him. I got $500 for that job. I was moving up in the world. The next man I hit was Vic Santioni. And I had to take care of his brother Tommy when he went gunning for Wilson. I never got picked up or even booked for these killings. I was a very lucky man.
Kitty. Kitty. What do you think you're doing?
Can't you see what I'm doing, Uncle Joe? I'm playing your tape. The one you had in the envelope.
Who told you to do that? Didn't you see what it said?
Yes. I saw what it said. It said, not to be opened until your death. Did you think I could resist something like that? You know me, Uncle Joe.
Kitty, give me that tape.
You know that's why Pop called me Kitty in the first place. Not because my name was Catherine. My name's Mary. But he always said I was as nosy as a kitten, as curious as a cat.
Honey, please. Please, you shouldn't have listened to that stuff. It's got nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with me anymore either now.
That was the second time, Uncle Joe.
What did you say?
It's the second time I've played the tape. I heard it all the way through the first time, but I didn't believe what I was hearing. I couldn't.
Why? Why did you have to do that?
Papa. My poor Papa.
Kitty, listen to me. You don't know about these things. You don't know how a man gets pushed and shoved in this world until he's got to be like an animal.
He was worried about her finding out what he was doing. He never stopped worrying about that. Only then they needed a fall guy for a payroll job, and they picked Marty, and he refused. He said he wouldn't take a rap. He wouldn't go to jail and shit. Marty had this daughter in college. He called her Kitty. He was worried about her finding out what he was doing. He never stopped worrying about that. Only then they needed a fall guy for a payroll job, and they picked Marty, and he refused. He said he wouldn't take a rap. He wouldn't go to jail and shame his daughter. He said he'd spill for her.
Are you listening, Uncle Joe?
Lord.
It made him a problem, you know. They wanted him hit. I said I didn't want the job. Marty was my friend. Him and his daughter was like my family. But they didn't care about that. It was like a test of my loyalty. So I had to do it. I had to kill Marty Russo.
Is that why you took such good care of me, Uncle Joe? Is that why?
I had to do what they said I had to do it. Kitty, it would have been the same with your papa if he was told to hit me.
There's a gun in your desk, Uncle Joe. Is this the gun you killed him with?
No, put that down, Kitty. That thing is loaded.
Tell me how you killed my father.
No.
Your best friend. Why don't you tell me how?
No, please put it down.
Did he know it was you, Uncle Joe?
Kitty.
Did you look him in the eyes when you shot him the way I'm looking at you?
Kitty! What kind of place is this? It sounds like the whole room is breathing. I can hear it breathing. Is that me? Do I hear myself? Light. I never saw a light that big. But it's not the summer. I can't open my eyes. It's too bright. But I gotta open them. I gotta see where I am. No! Hold it.
without mouths. They're all around me. And the woman without a mouth, no. Get away from me. Go away. Go away.
His eyelids are moving. Anesthesia must be wearing off.
His pulse is still dropping fast, Doctor.
Keep that respirator going.
It's no use. We're losing him.
Past tense, nurse. We've lost him.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so am I. But I'm not sorry to get this mask off.
Oh, yes, me too. It always makes me feel as if I have no mouth at all.
Well, it seems that Joe Gannett was seeing ghosts, all right. But in this case, they weren't the ghosts of the past. They were the ghosts of the future. Men without mouths, clustered around an operating table, not trying to destroy his life, but attempting to save it. I'll be back shortly.
Hi, Ms. Goldilocks here. Professionally taste-testing diet drinks can be very difficult, but I've just had to bear with it. Then I found sugar-free Diet 7-Up. It doesn't taste like other diet drinks. It's fresh, light, natural, delicious. Sugar-free Diet 7-Up tastes so good that I've taste-tested it hundreds of times, and each time I've given it my seal of approval. Yes, this one's just right.
Expecting a baby? Plan to refinish that old crib? If so, make certain that the layers of old paint are completely removed and the new paint you use is labeled non-toxic. Also, remember to check all crib surfaces. There should be no sharp edges. If the teething rails are damaged, they should be replaced. For free detailed information concerning crib safety, write Cribs, Washington, D.C. 20207. A public service message from the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission.
Of course, we're really not worried about men and women without mouths at the Radio Mystery Theater, as long as they have ears. And since you seem to have a pair of ears in good working order, we hope you'll turn them to our wavelength again. It's our purpose in life to show you that sometimes it's fun to be afraid. Our cast included Joe Silver, Patricia Elliott, Ira Lewis, and Dan Acco. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next tale.
Hey, that's wonderful. That's just like a magician I saw once.
It's not magic, Effie. It's a natural power. I read somewhere that most of us use only a small portion of our brain potential, less than 5%.
You mean that anyone can do what you just did?
Sure, most people can. I'm sure of it.
Oh, hey, Joe, will you teach me? Will you show me how you did that?
If you want to, I can show you that and much more.
Like what?
Well, like hear what I have in my mind without my saying a word.
Hey, that'd be neat. We could talk and nobody would hear us.
I could show you how to move objects from across the room.
We could clean up from here.
I could even teach you how to fly.
Yeah, like Peter Pan. Hey, look, I'm flying.
Hey, you mustn't joke about it, Effie.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry, Joseph. Listen, I wasn't making fun of you. I was just happy.
Never make fun of me, Effie.
You're frightening me.
It's all over now. Let's finish the dish.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
City.
Come in.
Thank you for listening and good night. WDAF, Kansas City.
Dan Henry, WDAF Local News at 11 o'clock. The outlook for Kansas City, a chance for showers tonight, mild tomorrow. A residence fire, believed to have started when children played with matches, has taken the life of an elderly woman babysitter and one of the infants in her care in Kansas City, Kansas. It is 85-year-old Mrs. Jenny Earhart of 1735 Waverly and 14-month-old Charles Elkins. The fire occurred in the Elkins home at 2313 North 77th. Two other 4-year-old children in Mrs. Earhart's care escaped without injury. Several persons, including a passerby who tried to assist in a rescue attempt, and the child's mother, were admitted to Bethany Hospital. Another resident of the house, 53-year-old Stanley Elvin, suffered shock and exhaustion while attempting to fight the blaze. He also was hospitalized. Kansas City, Missouri firemen used about 10 pieces of equipment in fighting a blaze in the Knollwood Apartments at 1401 Northeast Vivian Road tonight. It's a 3-story apartment complex, and there were reports that some third-floor residents had to be assisted by firemen in escaping the building. No injuries were reported, however, and the cause of that blaze not yet determined. Kansas City, Missouri schools will reopen Friday with teachers and staff reporting tomorrow. This order from School Superintendent Robert Metcalf and the school board, despite the failure of recent efforts to bring a halt to the teacher strike.
News of the hour on the hour from American Information Radio. This is Richard Wall from Los Angeles, and at this hour, a federal grand jury is investigating Monday's bank robbery in San Francisco and whether Patricia Hearst took part in the holdup willingly. Attorney General William Saxby says she did, but Patricia's father, Randolph Hearst, calls Saxby's view speculation. In Washington, correspondent David Shoemaker reports on the change of tactics by investigators of the Hearst kidnapping since Monday.
The robbery has changed the FBI's kid gloves approach to the search for Miss Hearst. Until now, agents have been afraid of doing anything that might jeopardize her safety. Entire neighborhoods of San Francisco were declared off limits in the investigation. Now, we're told by sources at FBI headquarters, the search will be more aggressive. But once Miss Hearst is located, the final decision to act has been strictly reserved for FBI Director Clarence Kelly personally. David Shoemaker, ABC News, Washington.
A Nixon promise to Latin America. That story coming up.
This woman is speaking in behalf of the refugees in Cambodia. She tells us that in Cambodia today, 1 million men, women, and children are homeless and in need of shelter. Massive aid is needed to help these people. CARE is distributing rice, dry fish, and other foods. CARE is providing medicines and supplying refugee kits, which contain cooking utensils, sewing kits, and material for clothing. CARE is also distributing mosquito netting, blankets, and straw mats to sleep on. As soon as conditions permit, CARE will assist Cambodian refugees to rebuild their homes and communities and help the people get back to work so that they can help themselves. They are very grateful for this desperately needed help.
Your contribution to CARE makes possible this help. Please send your dollars to CARE, Department 2, New York 10016.
President Nixon has promised to work with Latin American and Caribbean governments to keep peace in the hemisphere. And at a White House dinner tonight, the president told foreign ministers from those countries,
on the political side, you can expect that the United States will not seek to impose its political preferences on your countries. That is your decision. We will not intervene in the domestic affairs of others in this hemisphere. And finally, and of keen interest tonight, we have a mutual interest in economic growth and prosperity for all the nations in this hemisphere.
President Nixon asked the group to join him in a toast to what he called a new spirit of solidarity in the hemisphere. The White House says President Nixon is neither dismayed nor disheartened by the Democratic win in Michigan's 8th congressional district, but Republican National Chairman George Bush says he's terribly disappointed by the GOP loss. Republican Senator Charles Percy says it would probably help the GOP if President Nixon were to resign. The New York Daily News says the City Bar Association is investigating possible misconduct by President Nixon and 4 other lawyers, including John Mitchell, David Young, and Gordon Strawn.
John Ehrlichman denies a report that he's become disenchanted with President Nixon and feels the president's lost his effectiveness. The story was by the Los Angeles Times. And in Seattle, Ehrlichman read from a statement.
The story is incorrect in its references to my attitude toward the president. In terms of accomplishment, it's my belief that his domestic record has been, in every respect, as excellent as his record in foreign affairs.
Ehrlichman also denied that he's been plea bargaining with the Watergate prosecutor's office. A supermarket survey by the American National Cattlemen's Association shows retail beef prices have dropped 24.5 cents a pound on the average in supermarkets across the U.S. in the past 2 months. Cost of Living Council Director John Dunlop says steel firms estimate their costs will rise 13.6% by July 31st. Dunlop says that means higher steel prices and substantial inflationary pressures on the economy. This is Information Radio News.
From the Kurt Murs Sports Desk, after last night's loss to the Texas Rangers, the Kansas City Royals are trying to even that two-game series tonight. There was a surprise in the multi-phase draft of players by the ABA today. A high school player, 6'11" Moses Malone from Virginia, was drafted by the Utah Stars. The Stars say they won't pressure him into signing. The Kansas relays begin today. They run through Saturday with more than 1,800 athletes competing. And Ed Garvey, the director of the NFL Players Association, has verified the boycott of players from off-season practice because of the lack of agreement on insurance. The Kansas City forecast mostly cloudy with a chance for a shower or thunder shower tonight and a low in the upper 40s. It should clear up tomorrow with mostly sunny skies, a high near 75. Dan Henry, WDAF News.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to the terrifying world of your own imagination. There are many fearful places that surround us. Ancient houses where ancient whispers never die out. Evil lands where the light of reason vanishes. But the most horrifying of all lies deep inside of us. Few of us dare look into our minds and hearts and souls. And when we do, we find it more than we can bear. This is essentially what happens in this tale of Joseph Compertino, a young man who looked into the souls of others only to find destruction.
I don't need your help, Father.
I think you do. You told me how much you loved our Savior and St. Joseph. You're not appealing to them now, are you?
I don't know what you mean.
Yes, you do. The incense, the magic circle on the floor, the Kabbalistic figures. You're reaching for the hand.
What if I am? What good did my piety do? I lost my parents, then Effie. Perhaps I'll get some help now.
From Satan? You don't want his help. He doesn't share. He possesses.
I want revenge, Father. I want to see the man who killed Effie suffer as I am. I want to see him in the same kind of torture.
He is, Joe. Believe me, he is in torture.
Our mystery drama, The Horror Within, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Milt Wissoff and stars Don Scardino. It is sponsored in part by the Kellogg Company, makers of Kellogg Special K cereal, and by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Taste in the morning, Kellogg's. Kellogg's has that wholesome taste to get you up and grinning.
This is Jerry Coffer for Kellogg's Special K. You know, for years we've been talking about the Special K breakfast, a great way to start the day if you have a weight problem. You may have seen or heard our latest commercials, which symbolize the problem of being a few pounds overweight by using this ball and chain. That's the sound effect.
But so many people have come to know the Special K breakfast that can help solve weight problems, they sometimes forget that Special K is America's favorite high-protein cereal. It has 8 essential vitamins and iron, and so delicious that lots of folks, kids as well as adults, eat Special K just for the sheer good taste of it. So we don't want you to think that you have to wear a ball and chain to eat Special K. All you need is an appreciation for the finer things of life, a 1-ounce bowl of Special K, 4 ounces of skim milk, tomato juice, coffee, and maybe a little sugar. The Special K breakfast can help you lose weight all by itself, but it really is a good start.
You're 17. Well, that's plenty old. Old enough to know about things like grass and speed and acid and smack. We probably can't tell you anything about the stuff you haven't already heard, or maybe even found out for yourself. So we don't intend to give you any advice. You wouldn't listen. But the trouble is, neither will your kid brother. He doesn't know half of what you know. He doesn't know how dope can affect your body. He's never spent a violent night hugging a friend who was on a bad trip, or watch a guy nod off in class and fall to the floor. He's just a kid, and a real setup for anybody out there selling the stuff. We'd like to warn your little brother. Too bad he doesn't trust us. We can't get to him. But maybe you can.
An Advertising Council campaign.
It has been said that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. In our weird tale, the journey of 1,000 horrors starts in the light of day in a most prosaic fashion. Joe Compertino, who has been orphaned, is on his way to visit his uncle in the city. He waits in a diner for a truck driver to finish his meal.
Have something to eat, Joe.
I'm not hungry.
Well, how about a sandwich or some soup? Hey, it's chowder. It's nice and thick.
No, Effie, I don't want any. I've got to save the little money I have. It's a long trip.
Oh, I wish I were going too.
Any place is better than this.
Oh, it's not a bad town, Joe. The people don't mean any harm.
Oh, sure, they don't mean any harm. Calling me a nut all the time, making fun of me.
Now relax, Joe. You're getting excited again.
Yeah, I guess you're right. They're not worth it. I wish you were coming along.
Yeah, what would your uncle say?
I don't know. I only saw Uncle Pietro once, when I was a kid. He came to visit.
Oh, hey, look, Joe, that truck driver is getting ready to leave.
Oh, okay, I guess I better...
Yeah, sure. Sure, you better go.
All right, Effie.
Yeah.
And thanks for getting me the ride.
You ready, kid? Let's go. There she is, the pride of the Manchester fleet. Hop in. How far'd you say you were going?
Elk City.
Why?
My uncle lives there.
Well, what about your folks?
Well, they're both...
Oh, hey, I'm sorry. You gonna stay with your uncle?
I don't know.
Sure you will. Blood's thicker than water, right?
And God makes brothers of us all.
Well, I don't know if I go that far.
Oh, but it's true. God is everything. He creates life.
And takes it away.
Don't say that.
All right, come off it, kid. I was just kidding. I believe in God.
Do you really believe in him? Do you have so much faith that you can feel him close to you?
Oh, well,
I do. When I concentrate, I can almost feel as if I'm one with him. He makes me see things.
Look, kid, maybe you better get some shut-eye, huh? We got a ways to go yet.
I see things happen halfway across the world. Wars, plane crashes, floods. They all come true.
Yeah, sure. You want some coffee? That thermos...
No, thanks. This is a fast day for me. Like my namesake, St. Joseph. It helps me focus my concentration so I can do what I want to do.
Like what?
Move things without touching them.
Hey, you'd be great in my business. You could offload this truck by yourself.
And like St. Joseph, I can fly.
Fly?
Yes. The Lord gives me these powers.
Look, dummy. I gave you a ride against company regulations because I felt sorry for you. Jenny told me you were a nut, but I said, what the heck? But I ain't going to stand for that kind of talk. I'm a church-going Christian, and I don't stand for no blasphemy. Get your butt out of here.
You'll regret this.
Sure. Just beat it. Take my advice. See you shrink.
Lord, make him see the true light. Lead him from transgression. Thank you, Lord.
The door's open. Who are you?
I'm Joseph. Joseph Compertino, Uncle Pietro.
Peter, kid. Pete Compton. Don't you forget it. What are you doing here?
You're the only one I have left.
What?
Papa, he's a fire in the house.
Oh, good Lord. Why didn't you let me know?
It happened so suddenly, and there wasn't much left for a funeral. I just buried him and...
Oh, you poor kid. Yeah. How about something to eat?
No, it's a fast day.
Well, you take after your mother.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing, kid. Nothing. Don't have to jump down my throat.
She was a saint. I learned a great deal from my mother. About sin and worldliness.
Well, what are we going to do about you?
Just give me a job and a place to stay. That's all I need.
Yeah, I suppose I could use you around the club. You could clean the place, run sandwiches and coffee for the poker players.
Poker players?
Sure, what'd you think this is, a church? I run a little club here where the guys can get together for a little fun. Got any objections?
No, Uncle Pietro.
Pete. Call me Pete, I told you.
I'm sorry, Pete. I mean no harm.
Sure, kid. Now, let me see. Where can you stay? Can't put you up at the house. I haven't got any room.
I could stay here. It would make it easier for me to keep the place clean.
In that case, make yourself at home. Well, how do you like it?
The club is crowded. So many men.
It's a big night. Friday. Payday. Guys want to blow off a little steam. You know how it is. You work in the mill all week. It's a grind. They need something to take the taste out of their mouths.
They can find comfort in the Lord.
Sure, but now they need action. A little gambling's a lot better than some things they could be doing, huh?
Hey, Pete, where's the beer?
Here, Joe, take this order to the table. Move.
But what do you call this jerk, huh?
A hamburger.
No, kid. Well, I am glad you told me. I'd never know. Hey, what do you know, fellas? It's a hamburger.
Hey, something wrong, Ollie?
Nah, nothing much. Just that I ordered a cold cuts hero when I get a hamburger.
No, he said a hamburger.
Who asked you? Look, Ollie, the kid's new. I'll get you a hero. On the house.
Nah. Forget about it. Hamburger's okay. Hey, just watch him, will you? I think he ain't got all his marbles.
Yeah, watch yourself, Joe. Just be a little more careful in the future.
He's the one that should be more careful, not me.
Hey, Pete, get a load of this, will you? Hey, look at my whole card. That's not bad, huh? Well, suckers, it's going to cost you plenty to see what Pete saw. Now, raise the pot that's on the table, eh? Oh, the only one with guts. Okay. Here they are, Brennan. 5 little hearts, 4 through 8. Straight flush pal.
They're not all hearts, Ollie. Your whole card is a diamond.
Ah, you crazy. It's 4 hearts, I tell. Hey, who switched cards? Oh, it's you little punk, you bird brain. You must have done it when you were setting the sandwiches
Come on, Ollie. The kid never touched the card.
I'm going to take you apart, Squirt Boy. You're going to be...
Come on.
Sorry.
Hey, come on. Come on, stop it. Ollie. What's wrong with you?
It's him. Get rid of him, Pete.
Take it easy, Ollie. You're going to be all right. Hey, get a doctor. Somebody get an ambulance.
It's too late, Pete.
I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. It's crazy. He thought you had something to do with it.
I didn't harm him, Pete. I swear I didn't. I wouldn't take a life.
Relax, Joe. I know you didn't. Excitement was just too much. Funny about that card, though. Wasn't like Ollie to plunk everything down on a four-flush.
I had nothing to do with his death.
Yeah, I know. What's eating you, kid? Come on, spill it. I'm the only family you got.
Nothing. Just nothing.
Okay, don't tell me. I don't give it...
Don't be angry, Uncle Pietro. Pete. I wonder sometimes.
What?
Why nobody likes me.
Lots of people do.
Who?
I like you, that's who.
I want people to say nice things to me.
And you gotta learn to give and take. Besides, you keep saying wild things all the time about your powers.
Oh, they're not my powers. They're the Lord's.
You see what I mean?
But it's true. I'm his vessel. We all are. He pours his powers into all of us, but only a few like me can retain them.
How do you do it?
With faith and deep concentration.
You really believe that?
Well, of course I do. And so should you. Never lose faith. If you do, you will never have any hope.
Swell. Let's wrap it up and go home. You've used that brush on the floor long enough. Save some of it for tomorrow. You really think that you can...
I know it. Let me show you.
Oh, hold on. Before you deal the cards, let me cut the deck.
It makes no difference.
Okay, if it makes no difference, let me cut.
All right, I'm going to deal 5 cards face down. We'll both call them.
And if you don't call as many as I do, then you promise to lay off?
I promise. Well, go ahead, cut.
That one. It's the Queen of Spades.
No, Peter. It's the 10 of Hearts. Turn it over.
You made a lucky hit.
Try it again.
4 clubs.
Nope. 8 of diamonds. That's 2 in a row. Still believe it's luck?
Let me see that deck. I know every kind of marked deck.
You're just wasting your time. You open the deck. You know it's legitimate.
Why am I bothering with... Let's knock it off for tonight. Tomorrow's...
Here, watch this. 9 of spades, Jack of hearts, and 3 of diamonds.
It's a 2 of diamonds.
All right, 4 out of 5 isn't bad, is it, Pete?
It's not bad at all. Yeah. I don't know what the trick is. But we could sure clean up with it.
No, I don't use my powers for profit.
Who's asking you to? You can do an act. Amuse the customers when they get tired of playing. You sit in as a dealer for the house, and when things get dull, you do your stuff. Yeah, they'll get a kick out of it.
I don't like to use my powers lightly.
Do you want to keep on eating? Okay, forget it.
Well, just this once, Pete. But don't ask me again.
A deal has been made between Joe and his Uncle Peter. It seems so simple and so innocent on the surface. But like most seemingly simple matters, who knows what currents and eddies swirl beneath the surface? We will, I trust, know more when we return shortly with Act 2.
Hello, Ms. Goldilocks here, and welcome to my professional taste testing laboratory. Oh, Papa Bear, could you bring that case of sugar-free Diet 7-Up over here?
Another case? Miss Goldilocks, you're drinking this sugar-free Diet 7-Up like there's no tomorrow. You can't still be taste testing it.
Oh, no, Papa Bear. Sugar-free Diet 7-Up has already earned my seal of approval. It's fresh, light, natural, delicious. I drink it because I love its taste. Now hurry up.
Okay, here.
This sugar-free Diet 7-Up really tastes delicious. Ladies, if you're tired of switching from one diet drink to another, take some advice from Ms. Goldilocks. Try sugar-free Diet 7-Up and you'll say, yes, this one's just right.
I'll bear witness to that, Goldie.
Hi, I'm Hal Linden. There's a lot of talk these days about America's energy crisis. Talk about doing without heat, about doing without our cars, about what's going to happen if we run out of fuel. Well, we may not have to run out of fuel if we all work together to conserve the fuel we have. That means turning your thermostats down to 68 degrees during the day and turning them down to 60 at night. It means turning off lights, TV sets, and electrical appliances the minute we're finished with them. It means driving no faster than 50, starting or joining carpools, avoiding the kind of stop-and-go motoring that eats up gas by the gallon. In short, it means saving every ounce of energy we can, every chance we get. So please, do your part to make the fuel supply stretch a little further. For your own sake, don't be selfish. Don't be foolish. Don't be fuelish.
This message from the Federal Energy Office and the Advertising Council.
We all know that small compromises can lead to large disasters. The pretty lady verging on plumpness who diets with might and main to keep her poundage down knows full well that one excursion into the land of calories can mean a plunge into the worlds of pounds. Shall we then wonder that Joseph's consent to turn his powers to profits for his uncle will inevitably result in the loss of all he holds dear? We shall see as we return now to Act 2 of The Horror Within.
That was great, kid. The suckers loved it.
Yeah.
I thought Handelman would have a fit when you called his whole card.
He thought I was cheating, using a marked deck. He wouldn't believe me even when I told him to pick any deck.
Well, don't worry about it. That's just his way. Come on, let's go back to the kitchen.
You got a surprise for me?
That's right.
I don't mind doing the dishes.
I hope you can't read everything I'm thinking.
I don't try.
Good.
Joseph.
Effie.
How about that, kid? You didn't get the whole message.
Oh, what are you doing here, Effie?
Well, your uncle, he said I could work here.
Sure, why not? Business is good. We need another hand. I figured since you and Effie used to get along so well back home.
Thank you, Uncle. Pete.
Forget it. Just make sure you get the dishes done before we close. Huh?
I've been looking for the cleanser.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'll do them. You just sit right there.
Oh, no. I'll wash. You dry.
You sure?
Well, of course. There's no one to earn my way. Boy, your uncle's a fine man.
No, he is. Even though he blows his top sometimes.
Yeah, I suppose you don't. Joe? You still do tricks?
Oh, they're not tricks, Effie. I followed the example of my patron saint, St. Joseph. And I concentrate my powers like he did. Watch. This knife.
Yeah.
Hold it in your hands.
Yeah?
Okay, now keep still. Very, very still.
Joseph, it's getting warm.
Mm-hmm.
It's bending.
There.
Oh, hey, that's wonderful. That's just like a magician I saw once.
It's not magic, Effie. It's a natural power. I read somewhere that most of us use only a small portion of our brain potential. Less than 5%.
You mean that anyone can do what you just did?
Sure, most people can. I'm sure of it.
Oh, hey, Joe, will you teach me? Will you show me how you did that?
If you want to, I can show you that and much more.
Like what?
Well, like hear what I have in my mind without my saying a word.
Hey, that'd be neat. We could talk and nobody would hear us.
I could show you how to move objects from across the room.
We could clean up from here.
I could even teach you how to fly.
Yeah, like Peter Pan. Hey, look, I'm flying.
Hey, you mustn't joke about it, Effie.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry, Joseph. Listen, I wasn't making fun of you. I was just happy.
Never make fun of me, Effie.
You're frightening me.
It's all over now. Let's finish the dishes.
I promise, Joseph. I'll never do it again.
Well, how do you like it?
Oh, it looks beautiful, Pete. Just beautiful. I mean, I can't believe it's the same club.
Nothing to it, Effie. Fake brick. Tile ceilings and a few yards of drapes. Didn't cost much to change from poker to a supper club.
But do you think it's wise?
Look at the mob. The joint's packed.
People are dressed so nice, too. Hey, maybe we ought to pitch in and help, huh?
No, nothing doing. You and Joe are my star attraction.
Well...
Now, you do the act like I seen it, and we can't miss.
But that was just for Effie and me, Pete. I don't want to perform. Well, not in front of all these people.
Are you scared, kid? Well, that's natural. Everybody gets stage fright.
No, it's not that. I told you before, my powers are between me and St. Joseph. I can't do it for money.
What's the difference if you do it in the back room or out here?
Well, he's right, Joe. You can't hurt anybody with a little fun.
A little pleasure can help brighten up people's lives. That's you, Joe. What do you say? I'm going to introduce you and Effie. If you want to let me down, that's up to you. And now, folks, settle back. I hope you enjoyed your dinner.
Oh, boy, the roast pig was big.
Good. The Cafe Compton presents its star attraction, the amazing Joseph and Company. They'll entertain you with an act never duplicated before in the history of the entertainment world.
Yeah, sure.
They'll read your thoughts, perform illusions. And here they are, the amazing Joseph and Company.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My assistant will be seated on the stage as I go through the audience. She will receive the thoughts I send to her across space. You can give me any kind of message or clue, and I will transmit it to her. I'm in touch with a lady who has a question.
Is her name Cindy?
What? That is correct. She wants to know if you can tell her what colored dress she is wearing.
She is wearing a blue gown with sequins. It is a size 8, I believe.
Just the color was enough. All right, you, sir. May I have your note? Thank you. This gentleman wants to know if his partner is cheating on him.
Your wife is perfectly faithful, sir.
Well, I don't think that's what he meant, but I'm sure he's happy with the answer. One more question, please. One more question, please. Yes. This man he wants to know...
Mr. Handelman, I can read a great many thoughts in your mind. Your check is $28.90, and you want to know if a $2 tip is enough. It is not.
Joe, you were great tonight. Just great. Everybody loved your act. Hey, I better get out front now and help close the place down. We'll have a bite to eat later, okay?
Sure, Pete.
That Handelman. I hate him.
I know, Joey. Listen, you frightened me. And that's why I made a joke out of it. Joe, you wouldn't...
No, of course not. I'm a servant of the Lord. I do His bidding. That's why I wonder about all this. I feel it's wrong.
It's a lot better than what you wanted to do to Handelman. Joe, you think you could really do what you...
If God wills it.
Oh, well, then you never will, because He preached love.
It's hard for me to feel love for someone who...
How about me?
I love you, Effie. With all my heart, I love you.
Well, then let's get married, Joe. Yeah, let's get married tonight.
Tonight? But how can we?
We'll go to Rapid Falls. There's the Justice of the Peace there.
No, Effie, no. Wait and get married properly. In a church. By a priest.
Well, if that's the way you want it, Joe, but let's do it soon.
I'm happy that you want to marry me in such haste.
Yes, Joe, please, let's get married as soon as possible.
Well, that sounds more like desperation than romance.
I can't explain it, Joe, but I don't know, I feel... Well, like something terrible is going to happen. I want to be your wife, Joe. I want us to be together for the rest of our life. No matter how much time we have left.
Good evening, Father. Am I late?
No, you're the first one here, Mr. Compton. We have lots of time for the rehearsal. Is your nephew's family coming too?
Well, I am his family. All that's left of it.
And the bride-to-be?
She has no one else but Joe and me, Father. I wonder what's keeping them.
No, here comes the young man now.
Joe, where you been?
I called for Effie, and she wasn't there. Is she here?
Well, no, Don't worry, she'll be along in a minute. Probably had something to do.
No, it's not that.
What is it?
I can see her. She's walking past the library, and someone is stopping her. She's frightened. I must go to her.
Oh, what was that all about?
Joe, my nephew, he's not like other people. He feels things, sees things. I better call the police, Father. May I?
Oh, certainly, if you feel it's necessary.
She's gone, Pete. Effie's gone.
They'll find her, Joe. Just take it easy.
You don't understand.
Sure I do. You're upset. Come on inside the house. We'll have a cup of tea.
He's right, Joe. There's nothing you can do now. The police are searching the town.
I can't help. I feel so useless. I've got no contact with her. I can't reach her. She must need me.
Don't even think about it, Joe. Just come inside and rest. We'll wait with you.
You may have been wrong, Joe. I mean, about what you think you saw.
I didn't think I saw, Pete. I know I did. She was in trouble, I tell you. And now, nothing.
There was no sign of struggle at the library. No one witnessed anything.
You don't believe in me?
Should I?
Yes, I have the powers given me by the Lord. You are his servant, too.
Are you sure your powers are from the Lord, Joe?
As sure as I am that my name is Joseph. I have devoted my life to him and the ideals of St. Joseph. And I have been heard.
Explain it to me, my son.
Why? So you can laugh at me?
No. I want to help you.
Help me? Yes, Father, help me.
Then go on.
My mother was a saint. She taught me to worship, to revere the memory of St. Joseph, to follow in his footsteps. I tried. I poured all my energies into being one with St. Joseph. I learned how to direct all the forces of my mind and soul. Even when I was very young, I could make objects move. I could see things that happened far away. Then one day she was gone and I was bitter.
That's understandable.
Well, for a while, I used my powers for wicked things. People turned against me and I became an outcast. Even my father drew away from me. Then my father was taken from me. I saw the light. I heard the blessed voice of St. Joseph, and he told me to return.
And you're sure the voice you heard was St. Joseph's?
Well, of course. Well, who else could it have been?
Who else, Joseph?
No, Father, no. The voice did not come from within me.
Joseph, there are forces of good and evil in the world. And sometimes it's difficult to tell one from the other. Perhaps it was not the voice of heaven you heard.
Good house tonight. Oh, we're still mobbed. Why don't you get dressed, Joe?
In a minute. Any news yet about Effie?
Not a word. The cops are still on the lookout, but they haven't found anything.
I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. I told them where it happened and exactly what he looked like.
Well, there must be hundreds of guys in town that fit the description you gave. You got to understand.
I don't want to understand. I want to find Effie. I tell you, Pete, I saw her just as clearly as I see you now. She was walking by the library, and this guy passes her. And he turns back.
Joe, the cops know all that.
Well, then why don't they find her?
Hello. Speaking. What's that? I see. Sure, I understand. No, he's here with me. Yeah, we'll be down.
What is it, Pete? It's Effie, isn't it?
Yes, Joe. The cops. They found Effie.
Where is she? Is she all right?
Bad news, kid.
I want to see her.
You will, kid. They want us to identify her.
Identify her? What are you saying, Pete?
They're waiting for us. At the morgue.
we feared when Joe agreed to do his act at Peter Compton's club has come to pass. Effie is at the hands of a madman, and Joseph Compertino says he was a witness to what happened. It hardly seems possible. But then again, I'm sure you will agree, the impossible is becoming the usual with greater frequency these days. We'll know more when we return shortly with Act 3.
When you feel like having a cold Budweiser, do you automatically reach for a glass? Well, sure, Bud's a great beer any way you drink it. But without a glass, you're really missing something. Now take that wonderful Budweiser head of foam, for instance. Those bubbles, tiny though they are, still amount to something pretty special at the top of your glass. Taste appeal and eye appeal. Two results of exclusive beechwood aging and natural carbonation. It takes a lot longer to brew Budweiser that way. But brewing beer right does make a difference that you can taste. That's why when you say Budweiser, you've really said it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Pollution, crime, substandard housing, energy crisis, corruption, inequality, vandalism. If you don't like these conditions, you can do something about it. Law Day, May 1st, reminds us that the great thing about our system is that people can have a voice in improving it if they understand it and if they use that voice in the many ways possible. Through involvement like helping to register voters, campaigning for candidates, voting. People of all ages can work to bring about change lawfully. But with almost half the population under 25, youth can make the difference. Learning what can be done and how should begin at an early age. Law Day urges young America to lead the way. Help preserve good laws. Help change bad laws. Help make better laws. A public service message of the American Bar Association and your state and local bar associations.
To find out who killed Effie, Joe must make the journey we all fear. He must look deep inside himself and trace the murderer in his mind's eye. The problem is, what more will he uncover? For if you look into any man's heart and mind, you will always find at least one black spot which he has tried to keep concealed.
Why are we sitting here, Pete?
Because the lieutenant asked us to wait. He'll be back in a minute.
She looks so different, Pete. Like a poor imitation.
Don't think about it, Joe.
I can't think of anything else. I've got to find the man who did it. I'll never rest until I find him.
I'm sorry I kept you waiting. I had to check a few things out.
It's all right, Lieutenant.
Now, Joe, you don't mind if I call you that?
No.
Good. When did you see this taking place?
Well, Pete and I were at the church waiting for Effie when it flooded my mind.
And what time was that?
It was about 6:30, 7.
I see. And was that the time you felt it was actually happening?
I guess so. I hadn't thought about it.
Well, think about it. Were the streetlights on? Do you remember anything that might give us a handle?
Well, it seems... Well, the library was closed, but the streetlights weren't turned on.
And that would put it at about 5:30. But you saw it happen in your mind about an hour or so later, huh? Can you explain that?
No, I can't.
Well, did you actually see them go off together? Did they get into a car?
No. Well, I don't remember. All I know is I can see them together, and I knew something bad was going to happen.
What's this all about, Lieutenant?
Well, I'm just trying to get things straight. You know, there are some loose ends here.
Like what?
Well, for one thing, we found the body off Highway 50.
That means she was in a car when she died.
No, it means she was in a car when she was thrown off on the side of the road. She died hours before then.
You mean to say she was thrown out in the middle of the day and no one saw it?
Oh, it wasn't in the middle of the day. Doc Hatfield estimates she died about 6 o'clock in the morning.
Well, with this new daylight savings time, it must have been pitch black when he...
That's right. That means, Joe, your mind's clock was off about 12 hours. You couldn't have seen her walk past the library when you said she did.
I can't believe it. Joe, didn't you talk to Effie today?
No. But she said she was going to the city to do some shopping. She said she'd be away all day and meet us at the church for the rehearsal.
But you called her?
Just before I left to meet Pete. I wanted to see if she got back earlier.
And she wasn't there, obviously. Now, who answered the phone?
Nobody.
Where were you early this morning?
In bed. Asleep. Say, what's going on?
Well,
why all these questions?
Every little bit of information helps.
I don't like it. Can I go now?
Yeah, of course. Just stay around where we can reach you, Joe. We may have some more information later and maybe some more questions.
Joe? Joe, open up. Were you asleep?
No, I was just thinking.
Did you eat anything today?
Yeah.
I'll bet. You haven't moved out of your room for days.
I'm sorry about the club, Pete.
That doesn't matter, kid.
But it's all my fault.
Forget it.
I've got no future without Effie.
You cooking something, kid?
No?
It's funny, I smell something burning.
Oh, it's incense.
Oh, you're not going through that again, Joe. Forget that stuff, kid. That's not going to bring Effie back.
No, but it will put me in contact with her murderer.
Don't do it, Joe. It's not right. I spoke to Father Coyle about it.
You had no right.
He says you're literally playing with fire.
He doesn't understand either.
Why don't you explain it to him? Let him help.
I'm not leaving here until I see things clearly.
You don't have to. I brought Father Coyle with me. You can come in now, Father.
How are you, Joe?
I don't want you here, Father.
Your uncle asked me to help.
I don't need your help.
I think you do. You told me how much you loved our Savior and St. Joseph. You're not appealing to them now, are you?
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, yes, you do, Joe. The incense, the magic circle on the floor, the Kabbalistic figures. You're reaching for the hand...
All right, what if I am? What good did piety do? I lost my parents, then Effie. Perhaps I'll get some help now.
From Satan? You don't want his help. He doesn't share. He possesses.
I don't give it if he swallows me whole. I want my revenge, Father. I want to see the man who killed Effie suffer as I am. I want to see him in the same kind of torture.
He is, Joe. Believe me, he is.
Hello?
Pete, wake up. It's me, Joe.
Yeah, I'm awake. You know what time it is?
Yeah, I know. It's 6 o'clock in the morning.
Sunday morning. Don't you ever sleep?
I will, after tonight. Pete, I've got him.
You don't feel up to riddles, Joe. Who you got?
That slimy monster who killed Effie. I've got him to rights.
Now, look, don't do anything stupid, kid. Let me call Lieutenant Tawney. He can have...
No, Pete. I don't mean I have him in my room. I've got him in the mind. It worked, Pete. I've been put in touch with him. I want to go on tonight.
Joe, without Effie, you haven't got an act.
Oh, yes, I have. The biggest show I've ever done.
Well, I don't know.
Please, Pete. Don't stand in my way.
You're asking me to walk in the dark, Joe. Square with me.
I can't, Pete. You've got to trust me.
Then why can't you trust me?
You wouldn't understand.
Try me.
All I can tell you is I'm zeroed in on him. I've got him in my sights, and you can help me nail him.
How?
Well, billboard my return to the club tonight. Play it up big. Hit the murder angle. Promise the suckers a startling revelation. I guarantee he'll be there. He won't be able to resist the bait.
I appreciate your coming down, Lieutenant.
That's okay. I haven't had a night out in a long time.
You know Father Coyle?
Yeah, sure do. How are you, Father?
As well as my age, my infirmities permit. How do you like the view, Lieutenant? Isn't it grand?
Nearer the angels, Father. Nearer the angels. We got quite a crowd here tonight.
It's all that publicity about Effie. The buzzards are out in full force. They want to see Joe in action and maybe witness something else. Now, that's the cue for Joe's act. I got to introduce him. Just stand by. I'll be back. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's time for the star of our show to make his appearance. And here he is, the man you've been waiting to see. The amazing Joseph.
Thank you. Tonight I'm going to skip the usual stunts. I'm not going to waste your time on the usual card tricks and memory gimmicks. I'm going to attempt something never seen before on any stage. But I'll need your assistance since I do not have... Well, since I'm working alone tonight. With your help, I'm going to reach into your minds and read your thoughts. And if you have a problem, concentrate on it. With divine guidance, I will resolve them for you, if there are any answers. All I ask of you is quiet, complete silence. Remember, if you have a question, concentrate on it. You're doing fine. I see thoughts swirling in space. Is there a young lady whose initials are J.L. in the room?
Hey, that's me!
Good. Would you please stand up? Now, concentrate on your questions. I see a ticket in your purse. Would you hold it up, please? Thank you.
Well, what do you...
Now, that's an airline ticket to Las Vegas. Am I correct, please? My advice is follow your mind, miss. Don't use that ticket. Wait until you can pay your way. Thank you. Hold it, folks. I have another message coming through. George, I can't tell whether your last initial is B or V. George, will you stand up, please? Well, I have good news for you, George. You can stop worrying about your mother. It's not what you think at all. Her pains will disappear soon, and she'll be as good as new. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the signals are fading, folks. I want you to let your minds go blank. There. That's it. I feel it coming through now. There's a dark thought taking form. Evil. Malignant. You're coming through now. I read you loud and clear. Will the man with the mark of Cain upon him stand up? I don't blame you for hiding. You've committed a terrible sin. There's only one way out for you. The Bible says an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth and a life for a life.
Stop it, Joseph!
I called for silence.
What you're doing is wrong!
He must pay for his crime, Father.
It's not for you to judge, Joseph. Don't try to play God.
I am his instrument.
Are you sure, my son? Look into your own soul. Judge not, lest ye shall be judged.
I have nothing to fear.
Nothing, Joe? Think about it. Where were you when Effie died?
In my room.
No, you weren't, Joe. 6 o'clock in the morning, Joe. Where were you?
She was wicked. She was everything my mother warned me about. I worshipped St. Joseph, and she laughed at my piety. She was carnal, and she tried to keep me from my vows of sanctity. St. Joseph, in your name...
That's blasphemy, Joe!
I removed her from my life for your sake. I exorcised her as though she were a cancer on my soul.
Pray for forgiveness, Joe!
I was tormented all night. I went to her early, and I begged her to leave me. She refused. I told her we would go to Father Coyle and ask for his guidance. She struggled in the car and tried to run away. I stopped her. She was like a bird in my arms. A poor bird.
Come with me, Joe. Everything will be all right. Come.
No, I must go with St. Joseph. What? I must... Give me the power, St. Joseph. Let me fly to you.
Don't, Joe! Stay away from the window! What's happening? Look at us! I can't believe it. Look, he's suspended in space. He's standing 3...
Joe. Poor Joe. He tried to reach for heaven and hell at the same time. He stumbled somewhere in between.
Don't take it too hard, Pete. That ends somewhere.
Yeah, but not on the streets. You really think he killed Effie?
Yes. Part of him did.
None of us are saints, Peter. We're good and evil intertwined. Most of us can keep the worst of our nature in control. Joe couldn't. He was split right down the middle.
Well, one thing is sure. He paid his dues. Let's get him out of here and mark his account paid in full.
The worst we feared has happened. Joe took the fearful chance of looking deep inside himself for truth and found that the truth was more than he could bear. I'll be back shortly.
Banks have their boardrooms, hotels have their ballrooms, but one of the best-known rooms in the country is Project Hope's Room A. Here is where Americans as groups and as individuals send their contributions to support the work of Project Hope. It may be a check for $5,100 from a college group who held a hike for hope. It may be $2.95 from a 10-year-old who saved it up from summer jobs. It may be a check for $10 from a retired school teacher. It may be $400 raised by a teenager in Massachusetts whose Carnivals for Hope have become an annual event in his neighborhood. Every contribution, large and small, helps Hope continue its programs of treating the sick and training medical personnel to improve health care in many countries.
Help is what hope's all about. Help Project Hope reach out.
Help Hope reach out. Write to one of the best-known addresses in the country. Project Hope, Room A, Washington, D.C.
And so we close the entrance to the cave where murky waters run deep, but not always still. From time to time, we hear the evil rumbles of the coursing stream, but we manage to ignore its babbling and save our sanity thereby. Joseph Compertino lost this knack that civilized man has developed, this veneer that hides some of the ugliness within. He paid dearly for it. Our cast included Don Scardino, Dolores Sutton, Joseph Julian, Robert Dryden, and Earl Hammond. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next tale.
What does he see in me?
Oh, come on, honey.
No, I mean it.
Well, let's see. You're pretty.
Well, I'm not beautiful.
And you're smart.
But I'm not brilliant.
What can I tell you? He's an artist. All artists are crazy.
But the most fascinating women in the world are ready to throw themselves at his feet.
Sis, you're pretty fascinating yourself.
Thanks to you, Bert.
Thanks to me?
You sent me through college, and there were the trips to Europe.
Well, I had to shape you up before I could marry you off. And it looks like you got yourself a grand prize. The great Otis Manley Carter.
Oh, Bert, I want you to like him.
Oh, I like him. I like him.
He's so sweet, so kind.
Except?
What do you mean, except?
Well, except every time he paints somebody's picture, it seems to me that person dies.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by new sugar-free Diet 7-Up. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
Kansas City. WDAF,
Kansas City.
Dan Henry, WDAF Local News at 11. The outlook mild, but a chance for showers. Within the hour, the Black Angus restaurant was held up by 4 men, all of them armed, at 6015 Troost. Police are looking for them. Operation Barrier was placed in effect in an attempt to apprehend 3 or 4 young men who held up the McDonald's restaurant at 28th and Prospect earlier. St. Joseph's Hospital reports 1 person in critical condition tonight, the victim of a street shooting earlier at 3005 East 31st. Police have a pickup order for a known suspect in that case. It's been a day of violence in Kansas City. Police are close to solution in some of the cases. A 15-year-old boy was turned over to juvenile authorities this evening, arrested as suspect in the shooting death of 18-year-old William McCon, shot down on the street at 63rd and College this afternoon. Kansas City, Kansas police have a 30-year-old resident of that city in custody being questioned by detectives and the district attorney in connection with the death of 34-year-old Jerome Halloran. His gangland-style killing discovered this morning when his body was found under the 7th Street Bridge. His killing was witnessed, however, evidently taking place in another part of the city. There was a shooting later in the day at 27th and Prospect, and police say they have several suspects in custody in relation to that incident. 2 men were shot, but hospital authorities say their wounds do not appear to be serious. There will be no school tomorrow, as announced by Superintendent of Schools Dr. Robert Metcalf. And the reports on the 2-alarm fire in the 200 block of West 12th this evening have been filed, listing arson as the suspected cause. The fire department says it took 11 pieces of firefighting equipment about 20 minutes to bring the blaze under control.
News of the hour on the hour from American Information Radio. This is Richard Wall from Los Angeles, and at this hour, another subpoena has arrived at the White House, this one for tapes and documents relating to 64 more conversations by President Nixon and aides. Federal Judge John Sirica signed the subpoena at the request of Watergate prosecutor Leon Jaworski. In Washington, correspondent Vic Ratner has details on the material demanded.
The tapes Jaworski has asked for cover a period of almost a year, from the time of the original Watergate break-in in June 1972 to 2 conversations with former White House Chief of Staff H.R. Haldeman in June of 1973. Prosecutor Jaworski says all the subpoenaed recordings are necessary and relevant to the Watergate cover-up trial this fall. Jaworski expects the president to fight the subpoena in the courts. The last legal battle over White House tapes took 4 months. Jaworski wants this one resolved in time for the cover-up trial to go ahead on schedule September 9th. Vic Ratner, ABC News, Washington.
House Judiciary Committee Chairman Peter Rodino says White House failure to comply fully with the subpoena for tapes for the impeachment inquiry could be grounds for impeachment itself. Rodino says edited transcripts will not be adequate. Criticism of Operation Zebra. That story coming up.
What happens when your personal battle suddenly changes from this to this?
Well, I realize you spent the past 3 years on assignment in Asia, sir, but we just don't have any jobs right now that need that kind of training. Now, if you only had a diploma.
Or this.
Oh, what a mess. You must have gone 3 years without seeing a dentist. You have to do a root canal here and fill these 3.
If you are a recent veteran, there are people just waiting to help you cope with the battles of civilian life. They are the representatives of your American Red Cross. Did you know that you are entitled to free VA dental care during your first year out of the service? Do you know what programs are available to help you complete your education or to find a better job? For more information about these and other problems of civilian life, call your local Red Cross chapter. Let the American Red Cross help with your personal battle.
An official of the American Civil Liberties Union says the stop and search policy by San Francisco police in the hunt for the zebra killers is a racist outrage. Police are searching blacks who fit the description of a gunman believed to be part of the group that's killed 12 whites in San Francisco. The head of the American Bar Association, Chesterfield Smith, says it may be impossible to prosecute Patricia Hearst in connection with Monday's bank robbery because of Attorney General William Saxby's description of her as a common criminal. Ms. Hearst's parents have also criticized Saxby, and FBI Director Clarence Kelly says the FBI investigation is based on the premise that Patricia was under pressure or coercion by her kidnappers at the time of the robbery. The drop in U.S. economic growth for the first 3 months of this year is bigger than government economists had predicted. The gross national product declined 5.8%. The inflation rate was 10.8%. Egypt's President Anwar Sadat says the Soviets have been slow in responding to his request for military aid, and Sadat says Egypt has therefore gone to other sources. We asked ABC's John Cooley in Beirut about the significance of Sadat's statement.
This is a very important development. Egypt has been getting its arms exclusively from the Soviet Union ever since President Nasser started that policy back in 1955. And Sadat is now saying he will no longer rely on the Soviets, that they have not sent arms and have not answered his queries, and that he will get arms from other sources, which could only mean, of course, Western countries.
That's correspondent John Cooley in Beirut. A foreign ministry spokesman in Tokyo, according to Reuters News Service, has announced that Japan and China will sign a civil aviation agreement in Peking tomorrow. This is Information Radio News.
From the Kurt Mears Sports Desk, the Kansas City Royals, hoping for a better-running Big Blue bus in Chicago than in Texas, meet the Chicago White Sox in a 3-game series beginning tomorrow. Veteran Betsy Cullen and French-Canadian Jocelyn Barossa share the first-round lead in the Dinah Shore Winner's Circle Open Golf Tournament. Forrest Fessler has a 5-under par 66 for a one-stroke lead in the first round of the Monsanto Open Golf Tournament in Florida, and Bruce Jenner, a former Graceland College athlete, won the decathlon competition at the Kansas Relays in Lawrence today. The Kansas City forecast partly cloudy with a chance for showers or thunder showers through tomorrow. The low tonight in the low 50s, the top tomorrow in the middle to upper 70s. Dan Henry, WDAF News.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to the terrifying world of your own imagination. One day, a young man named Otis Manley Carter stood before a great work of art in the Metropolitan Museum in New York. It was a portrait so beautiful that it brought tears to his eyes. And Otis Manley Carter whispered, "I would give my soul to be able to paint like that." It was an idle remark, spoken without thinking, on the spur of the moment. How was Otis Manley Carter to know that someone might be listening?
Where'd you learn how to paint, Otis?
At the Fine Arts Institute.
No. I spoke to Professor DeMarco. They flunked you. You didn't show him any ability at all. Where'd you learn how to paint?
Oh, come on, Bert. I was born with it. It just comes naturally. I've been painting all my life.
But you're over 30. How come there are no paintings of yours more than 2 or 3 years old? Where did you learn how to paint, Otis?
Bert, well, what are you driving at?
Answer this, Otis. How come all the people whose pictures you painted are...
I don't
Where'd you learn how to paint, Otis?
Our mystery drama, A Portrait of Death, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Nat Polen. It is sponsored in part by the Kellogg Company, makers of Kellogg's Special K cereal, and by new sugar-free Diet 7-Up. I'll be back shortly with Act 1.
Some beer drinkers have funny ideas about beer. They think beer improves with age, like wine. We'll find a brewmaster, though. You'll find a beer drinker who knows better. The Budweiser brewmaster says it all depends on how beer is aged. Just letting beer sit in lagering tanks makes it older, not necessarily better. That even goes for keeping a case around the house for a couple of months. But there is one kind of aging that's good for beer, the Budweiser kind, beechwood aging. In this kind of aging, something happens. It lets all the flavor of the choicest hops and best barley malt that go into Budweiser get through to you. Sure, it takes more time and trouble to brew Budweiser that way, but brewing beer right does make a difference. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
I've found the work to be really challenging, and I enjoy it a lot.
If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be in it.
People.
My orientation all my life has been, to help.
I wouldn't have been in Red Cross if I didn't care, about people.
People who care about other people.
It's an opportunity for me to help other people and to see my efforts and my skill pay off.
It's just a very rewarding feeling to think that some little thing you've done is going to help somebody else.
It's the joy you feel when you help someone.
People who help other people. It's like anybody involved with Red Cross programs. They want to volunteer and they want to help.
They are just that type of person who will go out of their way to do anything for anybody at any time, and it carries over to the work they do for the Red Cross.
It's like they're there when you need them. The people who are the good neighbor. The American Red Cross.
I think that anything you know in this world, if you don't use it when it's needed, what good is it?
At the age of 30, Otis Manley Carter was hailed as the world's foremost living artist. He towered above his contemporaries. To describe his work, one had to compare it with the great masters of the past. No one, painting today, could breathe life into a portrait to match Otis Manley Carter. And yet, just 1 week before his 31st birthday, Otis made the announcement that would stun the civilized world. He was finished with art. Never again would his brush touch paint to canvas. He would neither amplify his statement nor answer questions. He simply disappeared, and only 2 people in all the world knew the reason why. One, of course, was Otis himself. The other was a detective on the New York City police force, Sergeant Bert Dennison.
Bert, what are you doing?
Just having a cup of coffee.
We'll be late.
Late? All I gotta do is put on my jacket, and that takes all of 15 seconds.
I'm just so nervous.
Why?
Why? Do you know who's going to be there tonight?
Well, sure.
The governor, the mayor, celebrities, the news media, the critics.
Lucy, I'm impressed.
After all, the showing of a new portrait by Otis Manley Carter has the same impact as the World Series or a Super Bowl or a heavyweight champion fight.
If you put brown sugar in coffee, do you save calories?
Do you realize, Bert, that you and I are going to be sharing the spotlight with Otis?
Well, you will, that's for sure.
Oh, Bert, what does he see in me?
Oh, come on, honey.
No, I mean it.
Well, let's see. You're pretty.
Well, I'm not beautiful.
And you're smart.
But I'm not brilliant.
What can I tell you? He's an artist. All artists are crazy.
But the most fascinating women in the world are ready to throw themselves at his feet.
Sis, you're pretty fascinating yourself.
Thanks to you, Bert.
Thanks to me?
You sent me through college, and there were the trips to Europe.
Well, I had to shape you up before I could marry you off. And it looks like you got yourself the grand prize, the great Otis Manley Carter.
Oh, Bert, I want you to like him.
Oh, I like him. I like him.
He's so sweet, so kind.
Except?
What do you mean, except?
Well, except every time he paints somebody's picture, it seems to me that person dies.
What are you talking about?
Now, tonight's portrait, that actress, Lila Beaumont, she just died suddenly, didn't she?
But what does that have to do
And
with...
in the last 5 years, he painted 4 other women. Not one of those women is alive today. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. May I ask you how you knew that?
I checked Mr. Otis Carter out. World-famous artist or not, I ran him through the ringer.
Do you mean you actually investigated
Do you
Otis?
think I'd let you marry him if I didn't?
Honestly, I don't know anyone who lives his job 24 hours a day. You never forget you're a policeman.
I'm supposed to be on duty 24 hours a day. Otherwise, I'm cheating the taxpayers.
Well, what are you trying to imply about Otis?
Nothing. Nothing at all. Just an observation. idle observation.
Otis, darling. You're having a triumph. It's a fantastic success.
Well, what did you think of the painting, Bert?
It's a good picture.
Oh, listen to him, a good picture. Is that all you can say?
Well, it's certainly lifelike, I'll say that.
Well, thank you, Bert.
Good evening, Otis.
Professor DeMarco.
May I offer my congratulations?
I'm honored, Professor, honored. May I present my fiancée and my prospective brother-in-law, Miss Lucy Dennison, Detective Sergeant Dennison, Professor DeMarco of the Fine Arts Institute.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Glad to meet you.
Otis, once again, you forced me to eat crow.
Oh, come on, Professor, please.
No, I was wrong about you, Otis. Wrong. And I don't care who knows it.
Yeah, but the truth is, Professor DeMarco, you taught me everything I know.
The truth is, you didn't start to paint until after you left me. Congratulations, Otis, on a double triumph this evening. Your painting and your fiancée. Each is a magnificent work of art.
Thank you, sir.
And now, if you'll excuse me, Sergeant Dennison, Lucy.
Yes, sir.
Well, he never got over it. And I don't think he ever will. He said I'd never amount to anything.
Oh, but you're not serious, darling. How could anyone who knows anything about art?
Oh, there's Eric von Heiden.
The one who's doing the new book about him?
Come on, darling. I'll introduce you.
Give me a rain check. I feel the need for a little refreshment.
Excuse me, sir. I hope I didn't spill that on... Oh, it's Sergeant...
Dennison, sir.
Of course.
You know, Professor DeMarco, I've been watching you.
What? That sounds ominous. Why would a police detective be watching me?
Because I'm curious.
About what?
About the look on your face.
What about the look on my face?
It's the only look of its kind in the house.
How do you mean that?
Well, analyze all the faces around you. What do you see? Excitement, boredom, happiness, anxiety?
And what's my look?
I would say puzzlement. Actually, you look completely confused.
I suppose I am. I still can't understand what happened. Otis was my student at the Institute.
And you said he'd never amount to anything.
I did. And you can see how it's come back to haunt me. Believe me, he had absolutely no concept whatever of the elementary principles of art. He had no feeling for line, for color, for form. I recommended he be dropped from the school.
You not only go out on a limb, you bring your own saw.
Well, 6 months later, he astounded the entire world with his portrait of that alderman's wife. The first of the Otis Manley Carter famous portraits.
How do you account for that?
Well, at first, I refused to believe he could paint like that.
And maybe he doesn't. Maybe it's all done with mirrors.
No. There are no mirrors, no tricks. I went up to his studio. He paints. But where did he learn? How did he learn? From whom?
There must be an answer.
Naturally.
But can you even speculate?
He probably sold his soul to the devil.
You realize that isn't an answer?
Of course. But it's the only one I can think of at the moment.
Come in.
Hello there, Otis. Hope I'm not disturbing you.
No, I was about to take a break. Coffee?
Oh, sure. That was quite a bash last night, huh?
Necessary evil.
Well, you seem to enjoy it.
But that's why it's an evil. It turns your head and wastes your time and keeps you from doing your job. Which, for me, is to paint.
Where did you learn to paint, Otis?
At the Fine Arts Institute. Do you take sugar?
Yeah, 1 lump, thanks.
Okay.
I don't think you learned how to paint at the Institute, Otis.
Milk?
Yeah, sure.
All righty.
Professor DeMarco and I had a long talk about you last night. He thought you were a lost cause.
Well, he did. And I suppose I was for a while.
So, how did the ugly duckling turn into a swan?
Well, some people are slow learners.
DeMarco claims you just didn't have it.
No, he was wrong. I always had it, but it was only in my mind. I was showing him nothing but meaningless blobs and dabs. They had to drop me from the school.
Mm-hmm. Where did you study after that?
Oh, nowhere. I just went to the museum every day.
That's all?
That's all. And then, one morning I was looking at some of the old masters, just worshipping at the shrine, as it were, and wishing and hoping and praying that one day I, too, could... Well, the most remarkable thing happened.
Yes?
Well, suddenly everything that Professor DeMarco had ever tried to teach me just began to make sense. No, it was more than that. It all became a part of the way I feel and the way I think and the way I see. I was trembling all over.
What did you do?
I went home, picked up my brushes, and from that day on, I was a painter.
Just like that?
Well, in psychology, there is such a thing as the delayed reaction.
Yeah, I know.
Bert, Lucy and I want you to join us for dinner tonight,
I never refuse an invitation to dinner. Otis, your latest portrait of Lila Beaumont.
Poor Lila. She never really saw it. She died the day it was finished.
What did she die of?
I don't know, Bert. I don't think anybody does.
Sergeant, I wasn't a regular physician.
Who was, Doctor?
I don't think she had one. She seemed to be one of those fortunate, healthy people who never needed medicine.
Mm-hmm. Where did she die, Dr. Caswell?
In Mr. Carter's studio. And since my office is just next door...
Was she alive when you got there?
Just barely. She seemed to show all the signs of utter exhaustion. So that's what I wrote on the death certificate. Afterward, I thought about it, and I asked for an autopsy.
Why?
I simply couldn't believe it.
What did the autopsy reveal?
Nothing. I was right in the first place. But I still don't believe it.
Again, why?
How could she change so radically in such a short time?
What do you mean by change?
Have you seen the portrait Carter painted of her?
Yes,
It's just brimming with robust good health. It's exactly how she looked. Just about 2 months before she died, I saw her get out of the cab that first time she came to Carter's studio.
And?
2 months later, I was shocked.
Why?
As I said, I'd never witnessed such a rapid decline. She was losing a lot of weight. Her color was gone. She looked so tired.
What did you think was happening?
I didn't know what to think. I decided to speak to Otis. After all, I knew him when he was just a starving young artist. One morning, I walked up to his studio.
Oh, what can I do for you, Doctor?
Busy, Otis?
Oh, Lila Beaumont will be here any minute.
Well, that's what I want to talk to you about. Is she under medical care?
Well, why? Well, why should she be?
Can't you see why?
What are you talking about?
Otis, she looks terrible.
Oh, she looks great.
She's becoming dangerously thin. She has no color.
Doctor, are you serious?
Are you serious, Otis?
Well, I don't understand what you're trying to say.
You mean you can't see anything wrong with Lila Beaumont?
She looks better than ever. Good morning, Lila.
Hello, Otis.
Well, you're looking just sensational, as usual. Lila, I'd like you to meet Dr. Caswell.
How do you do?
Oh, Otis, I'm so tired this morning. Could I have a cup of coffee?
Well, coming up. I just have to heat it.
Miss Beaumont, I hope you're seeing a doctor.
Why?
Look in the mirror.
You're very perceptive, Dr. Caswell.
Perceptive? It's obvious. For one thing, you're losing your looks.
Yes.
Your looks are your livelihood. Shouldn't you want to do something about it?
What can I do? There's a man, and he no longer loves me.
But a doctor could prevent this ravaging.
There's no way a doctor can help me.
But you need special treatment. I would say, Miss Beaumont, that right now you should be in a hospital.
Oh, you may be right, Doctor. I don't care anymore. I just don't care anymore.
Is that the reason she died, Dr. Caswell? Because some guy gave her the gate?
They say you can die of a broken heart.
What do you say?
Well, I just can't see a vital and perfectly healthy woman like Lila Beaumont simply withering away in so short a time.
But if her appearance had changed so drastically, how come Otis didn't see it?
You'll have to ask Otis.
You still haven't told me, Dr. Caswell. What did she die of?
But I did tell you. I don't know. Nobody knows.
Well, what did she die of? And what, if anything, can it have to do with Otis Manley Carter? Detective Sergeant Dennison has a nagging, indefinable feeling. That's just the trouble. In most of the murder cases Bert has solved, the solution always began with a nagging, indefinable feeling. We'll see where this feeling leads when I return shortly with Act 2.
And now another story of the ball and chain as Kellogg's Special K presents Veronica and Jeff.
Oh, Jeffrey, isn't this romantic? Out in a quiet lake at night with you rowing the boat.
Yes, Veronica, it's really neat.
Jeffrey, what was that?
Frogs.
Frogs that go bonk?
They're pretty weird frogs.
Oh, Jeffrey, you're such a card. You have a ball and chain like the ones they use in the Special K commercials.
Yes, Veronica, it symbolizes my few pounds of extra weight. But I'm going to get rid of it.
How?
By exercising. You know, like rowing this boat and eating smart at every meal, starting with a Special K breakfast.
You mean a 1-ounce bowl of high-protein Special K, 4 ounces of skim milk, orange juice, and coffee?
Precisely. It's less than 240 calories, and it tastes delicious. It'll help me get rid of this ball and chain.
I'll help too, Jeff. After all, we're all in the same boat.
You have a ball and chain, too.
Your happy ending could begin with the Special K breakfast from Kellogg's. The Veterans Administration helps people in little ways.
A veteran, let's say, is trying to get in the port. He is filed to go to school under the GI Bill. He's not getting any money, but he's entitled. Well, what's wrong with writing a letter saying that under the law, this man is entitled to receive $220 a month for attending school on a full-time basis? Believe it or not, he can take that letter with the little job, take it to the real estate people, and because he has an additional income of $220, although he isn't receiving it, it makes his chances of getting that apartment much better. And this is what I mean about the little things. Going beyond the duty every once in a while. Just go a little bit out of your way to help someone. That's my philosophy. To me, these are little things, but big things to that person. A big thing to that person.
At VA, we try a little harder to help.
Sergeant Bert Dennison has always been an intuitive detective. He trusted his instincts. He played his hunches. He followed his theories wherever they led him, usually to the right answer. But this time, he has absolutely no idea of how to arrive at the answer. As a matter of fact, at this point, he can't even formulate the question.
You really should skip dessert, Bert.
I'll only have one helping.
Well, do you want to tell him, Lucy?
No, darling, I think you should be the one.
Somebody's supposed to tell me something? I hope the wedding hasn't been canceled.
Oh, no, Bert. Sunday, right on schedule.
Otis has something to say to you, Bert.
We have a wedding gift for you, Bert.
Me? Why? I'm not getting married.
Well, that's why you need a gift. Now, on Sunday, Lucy is leaving your house forever. Ooh, that sounds kind of stuffy, doesn't it?
Keep going, darling. You're doing fine.
And so, therefore, to make sure you never forget what she looks like...
How can I forget what she
Please,
looks like?
Bert, don't interrupt.
We decided that I would paint a portrait of Lucy and present it to you.
Isn't that wonderful? Can you imagine that you're going to own an original Otis Manley Carter?
Yeah, but,
Well, what is it?
well, these things are valuable. You just can't afford
$1 million couldn't buy all the wonderful things you did for your sister, and I'm grateful.
Bert, what's on your mind?
Well, isn't it bad luck for an artist to paint a picture of his own wife?
Oh, now, where did you ever hear that? They all did it.
Bert, something is bothering you.
Yeah, well, I might as well say it. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I couldn't accept the gift.
Bert!
Why?
I just can't explain it. Otis, you want to give me a gift I'd really like?
Of course.
Well, just promise me you'll never paint a picture of Lucy. Never.
Now, what kind of
I'm
nonsense...
asking him, Lucy. What about it, Otis?
Well, one of the reasons I'm marrying her is so that I can always have her near me, so that I can always capture those fantastic expressions and moods.
Oh, really? I thought you fell in love with my mind.
I did. I did. It's your mind that gives animation and meaning.
What about it, Otis?
I wish you'd tell me why.
I wish I could. But I don't think I can. How about it, Otis? Will you promise?
All right, Bert. I promise.
Homicide, Lieutenant Callahan. Oh, nothing, dear. Just sitting around. Nobody, just Bert Dennison. Oh, no. He used to be a million laughs. He isn't anymore. Just stares into space all day. That's so. All right, I'll tell him. You ought to get married, Bert. It's a little sing in your life. And now that your sister's gone, you've got no excuse.
Why don't you get off my back?
Jenny was downtown this morning. She told me she ran into your sister.
I'll even buy your... What did you say?
Jenny saw your sister Lucy in one of the stores.
She couldn't have seen my sister. Lucy and Otis are on a trip to Mexico.
See? You don't know everything. Maybe they came back. As a matter of fact, maybe that's why they came back.
What are you talking about?
Jenny said Lucy didn't look too good.
She what?
Hey, Bert, where you going?
Bert!
Yes, it's Bert. You never told me you were back.
Oh, we meant to. We just got in this morning and we haven't even unpacked.
Of course not. How could you unpack when you never packed in the first place? All your clothes are in the closet. Bags are up on the shelf. You didn't go anywhere, did you? I want you to call a doctor. There's Dr. Caswell. He's just next door.
Well, why do I need a doctor?
You look terrible.
Oh, well...
You lost about 5 pounds. There's no color in your face.
Oh, it's absolutely true. I lost 5 pounds because I'm on a diet. And if there's no color in my face, it's because I don't have my makeup on.
You sound tired.
Well, we were up late last night.
Why did you want me to think you were in Mexico?
Bert, you and I, we've been very close. We've shared a home. You've practically raised me.
Never mind all that. What are you leading up to?
Well, we'd see each other every day and talk to each other and actually have no lives away from each other.
I wasn't aware of that.
So, I thought that since I'm a married woman, now we just have to get used to a different kind of relationship.
Uh-huh. You can tell when I'm lying. I can tell when you're lying. Otis broke his promise, didn't he?
What promise?
His promise never to paint your picture.
Well, how can you say that?
Why don't I ask you?
You can't ask him. He isn't home.
All right, I'll wait.
But he may be gone all day.
Who rang the bell just before? Oh. Hi, Bert. How are you?
Just fine. You've been painting, I see. Anyone I know?
Well, I haven't been painting exactly. I've been cleaning brushes, things like that. You know, chores.
Why don't we go inside and see?
Bert, walk into that studio, I'll never talk to you again as long as I live.
If I don't walk into that studio, you'll be in a month.
Bert! Oh, Bert, we wanted so much for you to have a portrait of me.
Yeah, so I see.
No, not yet, you don't see. It's nowhere near finished, but you can just sense what it's going to be like.
Bert, it's going to be my finest work because it's for you.
Oh, darling, don't be unreasonable.
Can't finish that painting, Otis.
Tell me why. Why?
Otis. For some reason, you kill the people you paint.
What?
Don't
Bert?
interrupt me. It's not easy to say this. And I can imagine what it must sound like, but... Otis, you've painted the portraits of 5 women. Every one of them is...
But that has nothing to do with
Each one died on the day you finished the portrait.
Bert, have you any idea what you're saying?
I know what I'm saying. And it gets worse. But it's true.
What's true?
Otis, the truth is you're not a painter.
How can you say
Please,
that?
this isn't easy, sis. Just thank God that we're 3 people who love each other and can solve our problem together.
Bert, how can you say I'm not an artist?
DeMarco said you had absolutely no talent.
DeMarco? He's a jealous old fraud.
But he's right. When you came to him, you had absolutely no ability, no talent.
How do you account for the fact that I create
You
so
don't
many...
paint, Otis.
Bert.
Hear me out, please. Somehow, and I don't even think you're aware of it, you have the ability to drain the life out of your subject and project it onto the canvas. Well?
I just don't understand what you're saying.
You're not aware of it. You didn't notice that Lila Beaumont was actually dying before your eyes, just as the others did before her.
Bert, tell me this is a joke.
No, it isn't a joke. Look at Lucy, Otis. She doesn't look ill.
I honestly can't see anything wrong.
Lucy, look in the mirror. Look. And then tell me there's nothing wrong with you.
I don't have to look. I know.
Then what I have been saying...
It's just that... well, I've been worried.
About what?
About Otis.
Darling, why?
Oh, I'm afraid one day you'll get tired of me.
Lucy.
There's so many women who are after you.
But you're the only woman I want. You know that.
Yes, I know. But sometimes I can't sleep at night, and that's the reason that I'm not looking my best.
No. The painting's the reason. And Otis, you must promise to destroy that painting.
I can't do that.
Then I will.
Bert, put down that knife.
Take your hand off me, Otis.
Bert, don't hit him.
I won't let you destroy my painting.
And I won't let you kill my sister.
Otis! Bert! Don't do that!
Lucy, stop him!
That takes care of it.
Bert, you're crazy.
Get up, Otis. I didn't hit you that hard.
Look at what you did to my painting. Do you know what you've done?
Yes, I destroyed the canvas. And look at your wife. Look at yourself, Lucy. Your color is back.
Bert, you're a fool. If my color is back, it's because I'm furious.
No, you've got your old vitality and strength. You'll be all right now, Lucy.
Bert!
There's really nothing we can talk about. I did what I had to do. And now let's forget it. Except for one thing, Otis. Promise me your word of honor that you'll never try to paint Lucy's portrait again.
But I can't
I'll put it this way, Otis. If you ever try to paint her portrait, I'll kill you.
Hi, Bert.
Callahan?
Thought I'd find you down here in the range. Good cluster, except for that one shot off to the left.
Probably a faulty cartridge.
Sure, it's never the shooter, it's always the shell. What is it you're getting out of your system tonight?
Nothing at all.
Want to sit down and talk for a minute?
About what?
About you and me.
All right. What is there to say?
We have to decide what I'm going to do about you.
Why?
Because Otis and Lucy were in my office this afternoon. They're 2 very scared kids.
They've got nothing to be scared of.
Not for themselves. For you.
Why?
Oh, come on, Bert. You know why. They told me everything.
Oh, that's nice. My own sister.
She only did it because she loves you.
Yeah. She told you how all of them die when he paints their portraits?
Yeah.
Well, what do you think?
Here's what I think. I just put in this application.
Application?
For your leave of absence.
But I'm not...
Yes, you are. It'll all be done quietly, and when you're better, you can come back to duty as if nothing happened.
Where am I supposed to go?
There's a private sanitarium. Absolutely the top doctor.
Callahan, I'm not crazy.
Of course not. You just got this temporary little quirk, and it can be ironed out easily. Subconsciously, I guess you just miss not having Lucy around the house.
Well, thanks for everything, but I'm not going.
In light of what happened in the studio this morning, I'm afraid your choices are limited.
Callahan!
Is it the quiet, private sanitarium, or do we have to put you into the city hospital for observation?
Callahan, what are you telling me?
I'm telling you to hand over your revolver.
Who was it who wrote, "Heaven keep me safe from my well-meaning friends"? It's certainly a sentiment that's shared right now by Detective Sergeant Bert Dennison. All he wants to do is prevent a terrible tragedy. And who's trying to stop him? Those people who truly love him. We're going to meet more well-meaning people when I return shortly with Act 3.
Oh, sure. You can talk about good-tasting diet drinks, but I know. I'm Goldilocks, and here at my taste-testing laboratory, I taste-test them all. And nobody's been drinking my diet drinks until I tested sugar-free Diet 7-Up. And then, kabloomy! Every bear wanted some. Diet 7-Up is fresh, natural, delicious. Sugar-free Diet 7-Up. This one's just right.
By the year 2000, our country will be guided by today's youth. Learning how our legal process works should start now through involvement, like working to register voters, helping to elect candidates, campaigning, and voting. Law Day, May 1st, urges young America to lead the way. Help preserve good laws. Help change bad laws. Help make better laws. A public service announcement of the American Bar Association and your state and local bar associations.
Young I may be, but still I'm a man. Just turned 18 and I'll do what I can. Find me a place where I can be me. Get ready for life, be free as the sea. Oh, where do I go from here? Oh, where do I go from here? I'm finished with school, but what lies ahead? Don't want to get trapped, want to feel free instead. All over the world, there's so much to do. The call of the sea, don't you hear it too? Oh, where do I go from here? Oh, where do I go from here?
What about the new Navy? You'll get your chance at success, learn an exciting job, and see the world. Call toll-free 800-841-8000 or see your Navy recruiter. Be someone special in the new Navy.
I know where I'm going from here.
The best mirror is the face of an old friend. Sergeant Dennison stares at Lieutenant Callahan. Stares at the look on Callahan's face. It's a strange look. A look that's a mixture of pity, concern, and fear. And suddenly Dennison realizes that this must be the same look that showed so often when he knew he had to arrest a suspect who might turn out to be criminally insane.
I have to have your service revolver, Bert.
Want to put the cuffs on me too, Callahan?
Cut it out.
Why not? It's a pinch, isn't it?
It's nothing of the sort, and you know it. Now look, let's Let's go to your apartment, pick up some stuff, and I'll drive you to this place myself.
Tell me something, Callahan. Don't you want to hear my side of it?
Bert, you slugged your brother-in-law, you slashed the painting.
So?
That's violence.
You and me, we never used violence in the line of duty?
Justified force.
Slice it any way. Why am I wrong this time?
Because what you say is crazy.
Callahan, you and me, we're not the new breed of college cops who know everything, but still we're very careful about that word crazy.
You mean you really believe Otis kills people by painting their portraits?
Yeah. Quit fighting me. Work with me.
How?
Let's go out and get some expert testimony.
What's here?
This is the doctor who attended Lila Beaumont just before she died. And he's completely stumped by the whole thing.
Yes, I was dissatisfied with the cause of death.
Dr. Caswell, you said you didn't believe she could change so radically in so short a time.
I did say that.
You also said you couldn't see how a splendid physical specimen like Lila Beaumont could just wither away.
Yes, I remember I did say that, too.
And even though you signed a death certificate which listed exhaustion as the cause of death, nobody really knew what she did die of.
Well, I've since come to believe that she really could have died of exhaustion.
But you said
exhaustion, plus loss of the will to live.
But you were convinced there was a mysterious cause.
I didn't use that word.
But, Doctor, you led me to believe...
I was merely ventilating some doubts, some misgivings.
But the other women who died...
I wasn't there. I don't know.
You told me, Professor DeMarco, that Otis had no concept of the basic principles of art.
I did.
No feeling for line, form, color.
I think I said something like that.
And since those things can't be learned, there was no way he could become a painter.
Oh, it's a relative thing.
Well, you even went so far as to say the only way he could have learned them was if he'd sold his soul to the devil.
That was a figure of speech.
He never did learn to be a painter. Something happened. He found a way, or was given a way, who knows, to draw the vital essence from a living thing and put it on canvas.
I don't think I could agree with...
I can prove it. Look at everything he's done. He's never painted an inanimate object, just the face, the body, but no clothes, no furniture, no jewels, no decorations.
I'm sorry if I gave you the wrong impression. Maybe I was jealous.
Jealous of what? You said he had no talent.
Maybe that was a lie I told myself. Maybe I resented his youth, his promise. After all, I never fulfilled mine.
Yeah, sure. And besides, you really don't want to be remembered as the art teacher who flunked Otis Manley Carter. I guess that's the simple answer.
I wish there were such a thing as a simple answer.
Well, Bert, you've got to admit it's really a comfortable room with a great view of the ocean, and you've even got a refrigerator.
Yeah. What happens now, Callahan?
Well, starting tomorrow, the doctors will begin working with you. You'll be straightened out in no time.
I see. I'm the one who has to be straightened out.
That's how it is.
Even if I happen to be right.
Those are the rules of the game, Bert.
But I'm not crazy, Callahan.
You and I know what crazy is. Crazy is when most people don't agree with you.
You're a big help.
I'll come up and see you this weekend.
I can hardly wait.
I better ring for the guy to come let me out.
What do you mean you got a ring?
Well, door's locked from the outside.
Huh?
It doesn't mean anything, Bert. It's just routine. I mean...
Yeah, I know what you mean. I might as well be in jail.
You wanted something, Sergeant?
Yeah, Jerry. I gotta make a phone call.
You can't.
What do you mean I can't?
Well, the first couple of weeks you can. It's like you gotta get your interviews and orientation.
But I have to make a phone call.
The doctor
Forget what the doctor says.
Look, part of the treatment is to isolate you completely from your former environment.
But I have to know if my sister is okay.
She's okay.
How do you know?
Because if she wasn't, you'd be told about it.
Yeah. Listen, I know I can't make a phone call. But if I could, where would I make it from?
Well, there's a phone outside, the end of the hall.
There is, huh? Jerry, I want to show you something.
What?
Come on, Lucy. Answer it.
Hello?
Lucy.
What?
Lucy.
Yes, I'm Lucy. Who's this?
It's me, Bert.
Who?
Bert.
No, Bert isn't here. Could you call back later?
Lucy! Oh, my good Lord. Lucy!
What? Who?
He's painting your picture again. I've got to destroy that canvas.
Don't move, Bert.
Otis!
Don't make me shoot, Bert.
Now listen, Otis. You don't want to kill me.
No. I'd only want to hit you in the foot, but I'm a bad shot. Now, please, Bert, just stand still.
What are you doing with the gun, Otis? That's not your style.
Callahan called us. He said you'd broken out of the sanitarium. He wants me to phone him if you show up here.
You're killing Lucy. Look at her.
Bert, I don't know what's gotten into you.
Is the painting almost finished?
What business is that of yours?
What more has to be done on the painting?
I just have to finish her mouth.
And when you do, she's going to die.
How can you believe...
Do you love her, Otis?
You know I love her.
Destroy the painting.
I can't.
I can.
I'm warning you, Bert.
I'm going to walk into your studio, and I'm going to destroy that painting.
You take one step and I'll shoot you.
I'll just have to take the chance.
I've still got 5 bullets in the gun. All of them can't miss.
Otis, look at Lucy. Look at her. She's dying.
That isn't true.
You don't want to see it. If I could prove you're killing her, would you destroy the painting?
How could you prove such
Would you destroy the painting?
Yes.
Let's go back into the studio, Otis.
Oh, no, it's a trick.
You've got the gun, Otis. What are you afraid of? Come on.
All right, you just stand near the wall. You keep far away from my painting.
It's beautiful.
Then why do you want me to destroy it?
Because it is Lucy.
What did you bring me in here to prove?
That you kill a living thing when you paint it. On the windowsill, Otis, that flower, that geranium, paint it.
Sure. I'll put the gun down and pick up the brush and you'll jump.
You're afraid. You're scared.
You're crazy. What you're saying is crazy.
Here's your chance to prove it, Otis. Paint that flower. And if nothing happens to it, I promise, I'll go away quietly. Well?
I will. Well, there. It's a quick sketch. How do you like it?
It's beautiful.
All right, now look at the windowsill. Look at the geranium. Go on, look at the Oh, no, Bert, what happened to it?
You can see what happened.
I can't believe it.
But it's true. The color is gone. It's wilted, withered. They're all Isla Beaumont, those other women. And Lucy is dying. Before it's too late, Otis, you know what you have to do.
No.
Otis!
You do it for me.
No. You have to destroy that canvas yourself.
Why?
Because I can't keep watching you guarding my sister forever. You have to put an end to it yourself.
I promise I won't paint Lucy.
You must never paint anybody.
I don't know if I can give it up.
But you're not really a painter, Otis. Somehow you stumbled into some sort of mysterious power. And now you've got to give it up. Destroy the painting. I'll go back to Lucy.
How do you know I just won't finish it? How can you trust me?
I trust you. I trust you because you love Lucy. Lucy? Lucy.
Mm-hmm. Who is
Lucy.
it? Oh, Bert. Oh, I must have been napping. Oh, I feel so refreshed.
Yes, you're looking better.
Bert, what are you doing here? You're supposed to
I know. I'm supposed to be crazy. Don't worry about it.
Otis, Bert's here. Shouldn't we...
No. Everything's all right.
I better go straighten everybody out. Especially Callahan.
Painting? Is it my imagination or... What happened to the painting?
I, decided to give it up.
Otis, how could you?
Will you love me even if I'm not a famous painter?
But, darling...
Sure she'll love you, Otis. She'll love you even more.
She'll love you even more. There's a lot of truth to that, Otis. A woman in love with a famous man has a problem. She wants him all to herself. But she is forced to share him with the entire world. And you ladies in our audience might think about it, too. If you're married to a man who doesn't seem to be going anywhere special, look on the brighter side. Just think. You can have him all to yourself. I'll be back shortly.
Hi, Ms. Goldilocks here. Professionally taste-testing diet drinks can be very difficult, but I've just had to bear with it. Then I found sugar-free Diet 7-Up. It doesn't taste like other diet drinks. It's fresh, light, natural, delicious. Sugar-free Diet 7-Up tastes so good that I've taste-tested it hundreds of times, and each time I've given it my seal of approval. Yes, this one's just right.
A March of Dimes message from a basketball great.
Hi, I'm Bill Bradley. There are many things that go into making a professional athlete. But let's start at the beginning. Being fortunate enough to have been born healthy. 250,000 children are born each year with birth defects. The March of Dimes is a team of professional scientists, doctors, educators, working to prevent birth defects. Please help give tomorrow's children a good start. Give to the March of Dimes.
What killed those women? A coincidence of real and fancied illness? Or can an artist really drain the life from a living creature and transform it to canvas? Certain primitive tribes agree. It's taboo to create a likeness. Maybe they know what they're talking about. Our cast included Nat Polan, Marion Seldes, Jack Grimes, Jackson Beck, and Roger DeKoven. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next tale.
I told you I burned it.
And you know that's a fairy tale that no one will believe.
I don't care whether you believe it or not. Now, are you coming with me?
Where?
To talk to your Colonel Blake.
He won't see you.
Oh, I think he will. Goodbye, Carol. It was nice knowing you. I think.
You will kindly step back into your room, Monsieur Feeling.
Now, wait a minute.
Move. I am Major Simonovich.
Oh, of the Gay Payou or the NKVD?
It does not really matter. What matters is that you and I have something to discuss.
I warned you.
Yeah, sure you did.
I do so dislike dealing with amateurs. This is strictly a business.
You mean you want to make a deal with me?
Correction. I mean you would find it wise if you wanted to make a deal with us.
For the paper?
Exactly. Where is it?
No, not so fast. Not so fast. You spoke about a deal?
You give us the paper, we give you your life.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
Kansas City.